filmed a video about the Carolina Panthers in sweatpants in the backyard of his mobile home.
Yeah, he's now dating Laterian's mom.
That's right. Yep.
What was that bit? Anyway, I'm Dan McDonald.
I'm Jake Kelly.
I'm Blake Jones.
Along with Michael Copeland.
Whoa.
The red hot Michael Copeland.
I knew this Monday felt a little sexier.
Copeland, or is it A? Michael, what is it? Your website. Throw on the mic.
Where are you?
A. Copeland Production.
A. Copeland Production. We'll get him a mic.
A. Copeland Production. No S.
Put this on.
Okay, so it's A. Copeland Production. Smart.
Look at
It'll be in the front.
He's got a Stanley Cup.
It'll be in the front of the yellow pages. Blake, what's the yellow pages?
Oh, wow.
Let's see where all the phone numbers are and stuff.
Okay.
I've had to use it before.
I bet my daughters don't know what the yellow pages are.
I think I looked up Blockbuster phone numbers. I think that's why I used Yellow Pages. Hi, Michael.
So you can call and see if they have.
If they had the new NHL game in stock or not.
That was a big part of my weekend. Or summer, you know. Call the local video update. Have you guys got the new Tomb Raider? Nah. Someone beat you to it. The phone book was fun.
Okay. Yeah, A. Copeland Production. That is home for your video production needs. It's home for ours today because we don't have huge Video Man. We have Hot Video Man.
Happy to be here.
In here, making us moist. Here, high atop my garage, the day after a Cowboy game. It's Cowboy Monday. I understand we're actually live streaming on YouTube, so some people are watching us live. That's cool. Many, we will be talking to you later. And in fact, not as many we will be talking to later. But I suppose you still have a chance to be a part of this if you would like to. So on our new website, dumbzone.com, it's hosted by Substack. And they were the guys trying to get us to move over there from Patreon. Substack is well known as, they're the place for writers, like independent writers. Like Bob Stern, perhaps.
Sure.
But also they want to let the world know, hey, we can host podcasting too. And they're trying to up their podcast game. So they're trying to get us to move over there from Patreon. And we did a soft move. We didn't move everything, but you can move over there if you want. And they do offer a couple of extra things over on Substack. And one of those is that you could sign up for a annual, which would be just a great Christmas gift idea for your man or your lady or your mom
Or your wife's boyfriend.
or anybody you know would probably just be giddy. Or they'd be like, oh, okay. Either way, we'd be happy about it.
Sure.
But you could also get a DZ VIP. And the VIP level of subscribership will we want to try and offer a lot of extra things for the DZ VIP. We're not, so that's pretty vague, but we are sure one of those things is going to be a quarterly Zoom brainstorming meeting.
Yeah, think of it like your shareholders call.
Could be a business review, could be let's talk about first quarter, and if you got some ideas for us, I've already got one. We got an email this morning about some ideas that maybe a little festival type thing we could host. We're all for it. We're idiots. We need help. Maybe it's just like an AMA. Maybe it's just doing that.
Are these upfronts?
I think upfronts are when you know what you have.
Oh, can
like
we do
this
that
is like
too?
a meeting. Sure.
Can the next one be that?
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted, ever
Write
since I
that down,
learned
Blake.
that term, I wanted to be part of it.
We want upfronts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want
usually,
up tops.
I think usually what has to happen is you have to sit on stage with the people you do your show with. You have to have a couple bottles of water.
You get advertisers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they ask you questions about whether or not, the Spawn is coming back or whatever comic book character. I don't know. But I like the concept.
Okay, our next one is called Upfronts.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I don't know what we're going to see what it's going to be. And it's tonight at 6. So actually, if you are a DZ VIP subscriber, whatever email you use to subscribe, there has been an invite link sent to you. I believe the Zoom room will open at 5:30 to start getting in there. I believe Spinks is going to be a big part of this on trying to figure out or help us, he'll moderate and help get people to the stage. I don't know how it works. We're going to find out. But if you want to interact with us, if you want to give us some ideas, if you just want to, I don't
Lurk.
know, yell Baba Booey at us. I don't care what you do. Just
Ask
lurk,
we
just
killed
hang
Bill
out.
Walsh.
If you just want to sit in the back, in a maybe sit in the corner,
Your body, your choice.
kind of slowly work it.
Yeah, why not?
Do a tubing. Just looking at all the participants.
We should
the thing
try
today.
to recreate that photo where like half the audience is doing hand over mouth.
Boy, we could have done that for the calendar. Write that down for the next calendar.
Boy,
Tubin?
coming at him hot and heavy today, as
Yeah.
it were. No, I'm
So
excited
that's tonight.
about this.
Tonight at 6. I'm not as excited just because I forgot. This is my kid's first day back in town, and then she's like, "Oh, okay, where are we going to eat tonight?" And I was like, actually, I forgot about this thing.
Just do a late dinner.
But she'll be here.
You're not working tomorrow.
I don't eat late.
I know, but you can break the rules every now and then. I don't like to either. But I want to. Yeah, it's part of it.
I don't like to break rules. I like to follow rules.
So you are off the rest of the week after today. Danny will be here in the den with Blake, with myself on Thursday and Friday. And tomorrow we have the star of the Mavericks YouTube show this week, Roundball Talk, Mike Soroy, will be filling in tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So I'll get to introduce Mike Soroy to another football player. This week it'll be Brandon Aubrey after Chris Gronkowski last week.
Oh, that's right. He was here with us on the football stream.
He bonded quite well with Ice Shaker Ski. So, yeah, it's a big week. It's a fun week.
Well, we'll see.
Well, okay.
Can't be that fun without me. Let's be honest.
That might have been what I meant.
I am the fun.
Oh.
We do want to do a weekend check.
Boy, I got a lot, guys.
You do?
I do.
Weekend check brought to you by Fairlease.
The good people at Fairlease, fairlease.org. It's simple. They can help you lease your next vehicle. They'll make it all very seamless, white glove service. What does that mean, Blake?
It's good.
They will handle it from beginning to end. That means the middle part as well. It's a 3-step process. You go find your vehicle online. You do a little consultation. That's it. The third step is they deliver you the car. They will bring it to your home. It's cost-effective leasing. They'll bring it to your office. Whatever you want them to do, drive now, pay later, 0 money down, no payments for 60 days. Danny and his people over at Fairlease are just that, fair and good people. Mileage options from 10K to 30K. So please, when it's time to upgrade your vehicle scene, think first of our friends at Fairlease, fairlease.org.
My stuff's pretty quick. Number 1, went grocery shopping at Tom Thumb. Actually went with the thought, because we need to restock since COVID, I have learned to stock the shelves. I don't want to run out of toilet paper, the good toilet paper or the good paper towels. So we got to have at least 4 of the big packs of each of those.
Why don't you get like a bulk store membership? You buy all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys stop yelling at me?
We're trying to help you.
you.
Well, so I went to
Save
Tom
your money.
Thumb and I thought, you know what? I will save money because I'll go ahead and get some vid shots, some COVID shot, because I've been meaning to do so. And I went in there, and as you know, last week I had a cough that wouldn't. It was persistent, and then like the sniffles and whatnot. And they were like, "Hey, have you been sick?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And they were like, "Ooh, you might want to just wait a day or so." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm going out of town Tuesday." And they go, "Well, it actually doesn't really It starts building up, but it doesn't kick in full force for like 2 weeks." So they advised me not to get the shot that day, to come back next week to get the shot. But I still went and did my shopping. And look at my bill, Blake. The guy that rang it up was like, whoa.
Oh, wow. He hit 200 on the dot.
Incredible.
And so
How do you not see the beauty of that? That's fun.
I brought this home to my wife, and my wife's like, she said exactly what the cashier said, which was, what did he say after this?
Make a wish or something.
Similar.
Your lucky day.
Your lucky day. Oh, you should play the lottery.
You should play the lottery.
Oh,
Yes.
man. Completely nonsensical.
My wife said that exact same thing. And then, yes, I said, yeah, but wouldn't the odds on that, like if I hit two really weird anomaly things in the course of 2 hours, that's probably the odds of that are way, way longer.
You wasted your luck on something that's not that cool.
So I said, the lesson here is I should play the lottery every other day but today.
Ah, yes.
That Bud Light Lime hit you. Helps you hit 200.
It's for my wife.
I think.
Why do you look at my list of what I bought?
That was the
You
first thing
handed
I
it to
did
him.
was look at your list.
I'd love to
Got
get
some
a
Coke
little,
Zero, got
little
some white
gander
rice.
at that.
Here,
Yeah,
show 'em
let's-
exactly.
Let's line
I only
items
bought like
be
6 items, but it came up to $200 because I bought in bulk.
Coke Zero and Dr. Pepper diet, huh?
Yeah, but he got a lot of savings on the Coke Zero. That's great.
Did.
Right. You got to buy 3 and then you get whatever. But I bought 6. I bought 9 of those. I bought Dr. Pepper.
I think I've purchased it before for what minimal meal prep I do, but it's very funny. There's a brand of white rice called Success, because the honest truth is, if you're just making a bunch of rice as your meal, Success
No.
has eluded you to a certain extent.
Those are the boil-in bags, and
I
I,
know.
believe that means you're a cut above if you don't have to just do the regular common giant bag of rice.
That's funny.
Great success. And then I want to tell you guys about something I've never eaten before, and now it's like my favorite food.
Oh, big weekend.
And I know you're going to make fun of me, but I didn't even know what it was before. I didn't know what a tamale was.
What?
All right. Probably don't have them in Ohio.
He's lived here for like 30 years.
Yeah, but he eats the same stuff every day. I'm trying to not jump him.
I thought it was like a pepper because you hear hot tamale, right?
Yeah.
So that makes me think it's a one of those like the Chili's logo or something. Like I thought, oh, okay, that's
pepper.
That's a chili.
Yeah, a chili pepper.
But I thought that's what a tamale was. And I was like, I don't want a tamale. And then so for Business Wednesday, I interviewed this guy named Tamale Dave.
Uh-huh.
You ever
That's-
hear of Padrino Foods?
I have. That's
Okay.
his born name, actually.
Tamale Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, he's a dude we've come in contact with, come to know a little bit, and apparently Padrino Foods is like a big deal, and he built up this business. So it was an interesting talk. You'll be hearing that on Wednesday. Subscriber info only, or subscriber whatever content. But yeah, then he gave me a box of tamales, and some are bean, some are cheese, some are chicken, whatever. And so apparently that you wrap it in this thing.
It's a yeah.
Did you know about this? Have you guys all had tamales?
Yes.
What are you saying right now?
Because you don't eat this.
No.
No.
Don't eat the thing that they wrap it in. But
A
then
husk?
once you pull it off, it kind of looks like there's a husk under it. But it's like this cornmeal thing, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so because I had to ask my wife how to cook them, and apparently it just comes in a vacuum sealed thing, and you just lay it in the pan and put water on it, and then warm it for 20 minutes. It was great. And so yeah, I had it for dinner. I had it for lunch today.
Is this amazing, Michael?
I just want to let everybody know about the tamale.
Keep
If,
an eye out for it.
Yeah, I think this is
So,
going to really. I think people are going to like.
Buying stock in tamales.
Yeah.
So very
Am I getting in early?
very popular
No.
around Christmas. It was always a big part of my life growing up because my mom has always run a business.
Uh-huh.
Her and my stepdad run a business now, and they work in fabrics. There's a lot of sewing. And the significant portion of their workforce for my whole life has been Latina women. And this is what they make around the holidays, and they would bring them to work. The tamale is the Christmas food of the Mexican.
I wonder why.
First of all, it's time consuming.
To make a tamale?
Yeah. It's kind of an ordeal. There's a place in Grapevine
So you
that
got
opens
time
up.
off? Okay.
There's a stand in Grapevine that opens up around this time every year. At least it has for the last several years. There's a whole tamale restaurant also on Northwest Highway. Much more of the gringo variety, but Tommy Tamales. You ever heard of it?
No.
You'll pass it. It's right there by the Tom Thumb. Really, it's right there by that. My freezer probably always has at least a dozen of them. This is a common. Take that bad boy and just make it over. Well, you're doing beans in the tamale, which is fine, but make like a tamale bowl with black beans and rice. Put the tamales on top. Tamales are a big part of my life, is what I'm telling you.
Well, I'm glad I could join you because they're great.
Yeah,
they're fantastic. I can't wait to have some different flavors. Yeah, I had he's got a vegan. Do they ever put seafood in a tamale?
I was actually just thinking. I've never seen that, but I don't see why you couldn't do shrimp. But yeah, you'll get the black bean ones. They have those at Tommy Tamale and pretty much everywhere where white people shop.
I bet I could talk to Dave and get some special ones made just
he could
for
do
me.
it for you.
I'm sure you could. What a big day.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Just want everybody to know.
Yeah.
The tamale thing. Keep an eye out for tamales. And just so you know, it's not a pepper. It's great.
Right.
Some of them can be spicy if you want them to be.
The candy does throw everything off a little bit.
It's true. Hot tamale's the candy.
Ah, okay. Maybe that's the only tamale I knew.
And to your credit, it doesn't make a lot of sense because most of them are not that spicy. Like I'll buy the habanero pork one, but they're not by nature spicy.
Yeah.
Argyle season ended Friday night.
Man, I was tracking. Just really was kind of over before it started.
Yeah. No, when you go against a great team like that and they come out swinging and things don't go your way early, you kind of just tend to give up. Not give up, but it just snowballed on them. And one win away from state. Sucks. But
also, President Bush just died.
And yeah.
You know, I was looking at their. Oh no, because it's not them. It's who has the top quarterback? Is it Duncanville? The kid
that's going to Alabama?
Yeah. Okay, not South Oak Cliff. That's not racist. They play each other all the time. They're rivals.
You've declared yourself not racist.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, and that was
Sock does have like a receiver that's really good, right?
Yeah, they got talent all over the place. But I think you're also thinking about Duncanville, the kid that going to Oregon.
Yeah.
That's also Duncanville. So
you know what I know it's not? Argyle.
Yeah, that's true. Our receiver's going to Harvard. If that checks out. Anyway, so that was a part of my my long kind of late, I guess, early weekend away where I went home to Fort Worth for Billy Strings and then to the Argyle game. Finally got back Friday. And then Saturday, you think I might want to stay home or something, but
not the Blake I know.
I took in Duncanville versus North Crowley Saturday afternoon at Allen High School.
I heard about this game as well.
And
you take the boy?
I did. I mean, anything to get him out of the house. I'm trying to see the capacity for Allen High School Stadium because
this is the one a few years ago, Dan. If you recall, they spent like $50 million on it, and it was a national story, and then they forgot to call Tony Cooper, so it just didn't work for like 2 years because it was falling apart.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Big controversy.
So it seats 18,000. I'm gonna say there were at least 25,000 people in that stadium.
Wow.
So we got there. I thought the game started at 2, so we actually got there an hour early. And it took us the full hour to get in. We got in at the playing of the national anthem. Just parking was insane. I feel like Chappie would have been really proud of me because I pull in, and apparently they want you to get parking ahead of time. And maybe this is HOA Blake, but I was like, this is a high school football game. I did not really prepare to pay for parking ahead of time. So I pull in, they're like, yeah, we're out of parking tickets. You're going to have to, pull in here, turn around. There's a lot across the street and all that. I'm like, okay. Pull in, and then I notice in my rear view that the guy is already like onto the next car. So I just
Looped around.
Just kept going.
kept going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's- I'm
Avoid
in.
the loop around.
Just
yeah.
just went in and parked. He was going to forget about me anyway.
Yeah.
Smart.
So save $5. So we got in. We got to steal a couple possessions, and then Brooks wanted his popcorn and candy. And for the entire second quarter, we waited in a concession stand line.
I've been to a game like that, a playoff game, and I got in second quarter because you're just outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just waiting to get in. And it's always crazy to me because it takes me probably 2 minutes to get my stuff. I don't understand why concession stand lines take so long. So then we
Like you get up there and you
It's
haven't
like-
been in line for 30 minutes thinking. Like
Yeah, I
now
know.
you're going to make your decision.
right. So I
hold
just
on.
popcorn, soda, please. Okay, total is $9. Boom, tap, gone. That's it. So so then we get our stuff, and then by that time,
Your seat's gone.
every seat was gone.
Yeah.
It was 3 or 4 deep around the entire bowl of the stadium.
So you don't buy a particular seat?
No, it's just
Okay.
open seating. They have a second deck. It was completely full. And so we just had to eat our food sitting on the curb, just trying to find the big screen. And then we left. But it turned out to be a really good game. Duncanville lost. I think that's where your confusion is coming from, maybe. I don't know.
Definitely just that.
But yeah, I primarily went there to see a good game. I also really like their quarterback, and I hope he is the quarterback of the Cowboys in 4 years.
What's his name?
Keelan Russell headed to Alabama, where he'll probably transfer.
I was
in a
going to say,
year.
yeah, for a year, and then
Yeah, that's always how these quarterbacks go. They'll transfer to SMU or something, and
back in my day, man, guys like John Elway,
So what's the
just
deal?
whatever situation they were called to, they just stuck with it.
yeah,
Because they had to.
Yeah.
What's the deal with, like, you can transfer now before your bowl game? Like, I thought I heard there's a team that can't play their bowl game because so
Mhm.
many people are
Marshall,
or did Marshall have to fill in?
something
Marshall's
like-
involved.
Yeah,
Or like even good teams that are
Yeah.
winning their conference are like, but our quarterback's leaving now.
Well, you want to get in now because spots will fill up.
yeah.
And so, yeah, it's always like December 9th or something when the portal opens. And yeah, a bunch of kids just don't play their bowl game.
This doesn't seem like a great part of the system. Otherwise, the system seems awesome.
Yeah, the rest of the system is definitely working. So yeah, that was my Saturday. Had a squared away Sunday, and here we are.
So, Friday, I had to go, or I guess let's just start with Saturday. I had to go pick up my race packet for the BMW Dallas Marathon (half) presented by our good friends at Cumulus Media.
You had to drive down to Dallas just to get your packet?
Yeah,
Seems like a beating. You
Kind
can't
of
just get it
is.
Sunday morning?
no, and you can't have someone else pick it up for you. So, like, I was like thinking, do I know somebody else? Like,
Hawkeye can't hook you up?
well, what do you mean? Can he hook me up with the packet?
Yeah, pick it up for you. Hey,
And then what?
I don't know. Okay. I didn't have more of a plan
Yeah,
than that.
I was
I just
thinking,
know you know a bigwig with the.
yeah, and he spoiler alert, he's doing what he does. He MCs the event, so he's just up on a bridge. Not a bridge, but like a makeshift sky bridge type thing. He's pumping people up. And you have a RFID thing, you're being tracked. And he did this the last 2 times I ran it, but he knows when I'm starting and where I am. So when I was finishing, he's like, "Where is he? Jacob Dumb Zone," which I was uncertain he was going to do. The last 2 times I happened to be a coworker of his.
Yeah.
This time I happened to be a legal adversary of his company.
That's in the past.
For some. But he shouted out. He was like, "Hey, there he is, folks." My wife and kids and my mom came because taking care of both those kids down there is a lot. So they were kind of by the finish line. That was cool. But you do have to go pick up your stuff Friday or Saturday. This is not like I waited until the last minute. That's the only times you can do it.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, I need to kill some time with the daughter anyways. So it was at packet pickup is at K. Bailey Hutchinson. And so I drove Nora out there while Carter was napping. And she's having fun, whatever. We're just D'ing around. And at the same time that the expo for the race was occurring there was a cheerleaders competition. It was actually like the state championships. for cheerleading. And she was like blown away seeing all these girls walking around in the halls. They're practicing, they're stretching. Part two, or the second occurrence of a weird moment that Dan saw earlier this month was my daughter's like, these are real cheerleaders because they're super made up and their uniforms are awesome. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. She's like, can I take a picture? I'm like,
she did that at the
Jared
Ranger game.
the
Jared
event. There's the Rangers' new cheerleaders were there, and then now my
Yeah, she
daughter
was
wants to
fired up
take
to
a
see 'em.
photo. Yeah,
Like she sees them like you seeing Micah.
yeah,
Like you're like, whoa,
yeah.
superstar.
But now it was okay
it's
with the Rangers
representation,
cheerleaders
That's why she
because
needs to see refs.
they were adults. Yeah,
Oh, but now you're taking a picture of a kid?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of a 16, 17-year-old, two made up 16, 17-year-olds, and I'm like, smile, and I'm holding
I
the
was
camera.
wondering what your wallpaper was over there.
Yeah.
With Nora's face blurred out.
Just zoomed in on the cheerleader on the left.
So that was kind of weird, but she asked, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. This is not weird at all. And then like the part that was weird is the two girls like got away from us as quick as they could, and they were kind of talking to each other, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look great.
Yeah.
And then she's like, is this
Kind of like when you send your 3-year-old to get an autograph from a pro player, that pro player is like, okay, the dad is asking the kid to do this.
Yeah, now if I had
And
been,
you're sending your 4-year-old to, hey, get a picture with those two 16-year-olds.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, if
No,
I
they're
looked a
too old.
little bit different, I guess, like if I was a little bit older and frankly creepier looking, and I was doing it multiple times, I think it would have set off some alarm bells. But so anyway, she asked, she's like, hey, is this, what are they doing here? So I just saw a team warming up in one of the little hallways, and I just walked over to one of the moms. I was like, what's the deal here? Like, is this happening? Is this all happening today here? She's like, yeah, but you got to buy tickets. I'm like, oh, well, F it. We have nothing to do today. So I went and bought us 2 tickets to the Texas State cheer competition, and we watched like 45 minutes of it.
What does
Nice.
that run you?
They were 13 and 15, so almost $30 for 45 minutes. I was like, whatever. It was a big deal to her. However, here was another part that was a bit creepy. So you sit in the convention center, it's like a bowl kind of, and she noticed that all the moms there were filming the competition. And so she's like, there's a lot of people on their phones. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they're filming probably their friends' family. She's like, can I film it? So she now has my phone and just holding it in front of her, looking at it, filming. But from a distance, it looks like I'm just keeping her occupied playing games on phone while I stare intently. Unless you were sitting right behind us.
But nobody knows that you don't have a daughter out there.
I know.
Or,
I know,
Yeah.
but I also have this 5-year-old, so something's a little.
I don't know.
But it just felt
Yeah.
kind of weird that she is looking at the phone, and also she has to look at things through the phone, even though it's happening right in front of her. But I don't know, whatever. She thought it was cool. So that was nice. And then went and ran on Sunday. Took an Uber down there
Why?
because parking is impossible. And I didn't want to risk trying to park and not being able to find something. This is a mistake you can make in the service industry game, or really any, I guess. Clear that my Uber driver spoke zero English. Like, he had the translator app up on his mounted phone. And I was like, okay, I think I got this. I just wanted to tell him, like, some streets will be closed when we get to downtown. Because he was like, oh, no English translator. And I explained, and he's like, oh. He's like, entiendo. I understand. That was a bad idea because now he thinks I speak Spanish. And I don't really know how to slow him down. So at first I'm just ignoring him. But he knows what the deal is, that the streets are going to be closed. But he's like having a conversation with me. And I'm like, oh, I'll see. So I got down there, got started, took a dump beforehand in one of the porta potties. There's an insane bank of porta potties outside of your corral in the very long line.
Nerves?
No, just you got to poop in the morning.
Yeah.
A lot of caffeine.
What time do you get down there?
I got there at 7, and my start time was 8:30. I could not leave the corral before 8:30. I was too early. And then I started, and it's fun. I like doing it. I am not a runner. Like people like TC's brother, TC's dad, their running is their hobby. That is their primary exercise. That is not me. I like to mix in running a little bit with other stuff.
So why'd you do it?
I do think it's fun. So I've done it twice before, 21 and 22. 21, I actually got ready for it and was fired up about it. I was pretty healthy. 22, I was not prepared. I played 3 or 4 flag football games in the rain the day before and almost certainly drank the night before. And then was like, well, let's just go run 13 miles and see what happens. And it was horrible.
Did you ever do the full?
No, and I never would.
Why?
Again, that's for a runner.
Like are you just dead when it's over?
I actually wasn't. No, but I don't have any desire to run. I just want to do it. I just want to do this specific event where you get to run. Seeing the city like that is awesome. Like it's Deep Ellum, it's downtown, it's uptown, it's Turtle Creek, it's the Lower Greenville, it's everything. And you just get to enjoy it. And there's a huge party. Like people are handing out, as I've told you guys before, there's fireball shots and, Jameson shots everywhere, beer bongs, people with snow machines. All the houses are decorated real Christmassy. And it's just a cool vibe. Like it's just a fun thing to push yourself to do once a year. Like when I checked into the Hab almost 3 months ago to the day when I ran this, I ran 1 mile on the treadmill. I was like, that's where we're starting. And yesterday was 13.1, and it was not as good as my 2021 time, but it was pretty much what I wanted to run. It would have been exactly what I wanted to run if I would have subtracted the second poop that I had to take at about the halfway mark, which took about 4 minutes. That would be about 3 minutes and 45 seconds of waiting in line and about 15 seconds of toilet time.
That's insane.
How many steps you get?
That's a great question. On that specific of
just Sunday, all day Sunday. Because certainly, even just walking around, I bet
35,000.
Dang.
Burned 4,200 calories on the day. It was a lot of fun, though, man. It was a lot of fun. I like doing it.
Is that like when you eat after the marathon? Is that just awesome?
Yeah.
Because I've heard, Corby talked about this a lot. He would run a half marathon just so he could get plastered after.
Yeah, they hand out beers. You have 2 beer tickets afterward. And I've never done that because the last 2 times I did it, I had to work right afterward.
Why you get drunk easier?
He said he could drink 2 beers and pass out.
Yeah, it's very true. Like, I've never done it after a half marathon, but when we used to play, flag football all day, fellas would get together, get a case, light beer, and it was just like, this is heaven.
So that's
the cleanest feeling, euphoric.
The equivalent I have of that is they would say when you give plasma when you're in college,
yeah,
you can get drunk real quick.
It's true.
That night.
It's true. You're winning everywhere.
Yeah.
Making money, saving
They're
money.
They're paying you for the
It was nice to run
sitting here.
On a Sunday, which is when the event occurred some years ago, to run by the club in Uptown Clutch. Of course, you may recall that's where Zeke once knocked out a DJ who then went missing.
We haven't heard from him since. Yeah.
No, he went underground. DPD was actually tweeting him. Yeah. But it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
They tweeted him?
Oh yeah. They're like, hey, this is Lieutenant Gonzalez. Call me back. He's like, you're not getting this guy, bud. He is nowhere to be found. Did get an email that from a first timer, because I saw several listeners there. This one was from Brad. And it was his first time, and he was taken aback by the number, because there's handmade signs everywhere. That's a big thing. Now, what possesses someone who doesn't know anyone who's running in the marathon to get out a sign that's like, you look hot, keep going, or even, attempts at comedy? One version is like, you're almost there, kind of, not really.
Like that's just not what you're.
They're so proud.
That's not exciting you as you're dying. You're hoping you can make it.
The overwhelming favorite or highest share of self-made signs have to do with peeing or pooing yourself. Like the number of never trust a fart signs that you'll see, they're everywhere.
Is that a real thing?
Very much so. But
I
knew that, so I stopped at a porta potty and Jackson Pollock did it before I continued upon my way. Yeah, it was a good time. And then my final weekend check note. This is for Blake.
Mm.
It's not a TxDOT sign, but I think it was probably paid for by TxDOT. It was a billboard I saw. And I was on the freeway, so I could have read it incorrectly. But I'm pretty sure it said 1 in 4 hot car deaths in Texas are a child left in a car.
What
And
are
I'm
the
like,
other 3?
are there people who are so metal that they're just killing themselves by staying in a car when it's hot and being like, this is how I want to go?
Old?
Lock it up.
It's got to be animal.
Well, that doesn't count. I just found that a very confusing statistic. And I looked it up, and we do lead the league in car deaths, hot car deaths per capita.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's what you think. It's all the South. We had more than California, even though they have 10 million more people or whatever the number is. But I'm just super curious about these other 3 out of 4 people that die from hot car. And it's not a kid?
Yeah. That
So
is
not
weird.
Hot Carl? Hot car?
No. Yeah, that's a different.
Does anyone die from a
Agency.
Hot Carl?
I don't think he's killed anybody.
What?
Rapper.
Is there a rapper named Hot Carl?
Yeah. I read his book.
Oh, my God. That guy? Yeah. Wasn't he like.
Jensen or something?
Yeah.
He married what's-her-face?
Wasn't there a Kanye tie-in?
You still have the book.
I
that
don't
would-
have it.
that I would like
but I
back.
might have
Okay,
the
I'll
$2 I got for
I'll
it.
buy it. Oh, okay. I'll buy myself another copy of it.
You read a book by the rapper Hot Carl.
I did, yeah. It's pretty good.
Do you know where he got that name?
Is a joke. He started out as he would battle people over the phone on a radio station. And so he just called himself Hot Carl.
Well, no, he called himself Hot Carl because there's a term for when you shit on someone in
I
a sex
know
act.
that. I know that.
Okay, that's
But
what I
how
meant.
he decided
didn't know
on
if
it.
you knew
It was
that.
just a joke. But yeah, the title of the book is
What's the other
Clearly.
option?
Yeah, like if there's a serious thing. He's
yeah, my name's Carl and
Yeah.
I'm an attractive guy.
You're a moron.
Anyway, the title of the book is Kanye West Owes Me $300 because I think he paid his cab fee or something one time and then he never paid him back. But it's a really good book that I will now have to buy again.
Listen, if you're feeling like there's no way out, you may be right, but don't just sit in the car in the parking lot when it's 110 out until you die.
You're saying there are better ways to kill
you?
yourself.
Without a doubt. Pretty much every way.
What about falling in a manhole and getting swept away by the
10
sewage?
miles of sewer, lady. That would be tough, too. So great weekend all around. They should have these things on Saturday, by the way. The runs. The races.
The NFL should be on Saturday
same with the
too.
Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm fine today, but I definitely could have used another day for the old body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. We are going to do some sports now. I got to tell you, if you're going to allow me time, because I'm leaving, so that bothers me. Because for some reason I want to talk about this Caitlin Clark thing, but we're definitely going to get into the Cowboys. But first, we have to tell you,
Where's Qualis at? Look at me, Strang. Where's Qualis at? Qualis Roofing and Construction. When you walk to the garden.
Yep.
so Qualis Roofing, great sponsors of ours, great dudes, and they're just giving back as well. So they're Qualis Roofing. They have roofed this house.
Mm-hmm.
They're wonderful to work with. We actually we had to pay the deductible, but we didn't really pay anything else out of pocket as far as getting our new roof because of the hailstorms and things that happened earlier this year.
You also didn't have to deal with anyone else.
I just dealt with Qualis.
That's
and then
right.
they dealt with the insurance people for you. And they will also, if you end up getting a roof with Qualis, they'll pay for a sit-in. So you could sit in our studio or here in the den and hang out. It's QualisGC.com. QualisGC.com. I thought you were going to step in there and start adding to the cool stuff I've been saying.
I felt like you were rolling. It's worth getting your roof inspected, and if you do it with them, it's free and you get a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So why not? QualisGC.com.
Also, they have a number, 800-500, 817. Just go to the
Maybe I should have taken the
817
baton.
500 9008. Yeah.
Yep.
Where Qualis at?
Cowboys haven't ruled out trading linebacker Micah Parsons
All right, that's ridiculous.
as contract
that
talks loom.
That's a real thing.
We're about to discuss how much of a real thing it really isn't.
They beat the Panthers 30-14.
They should be 7-7. They'd be 8-6 if they had played Dowdle more earlier in the season.
Well, what game would they have won?
You don't. It's a butterfly effect, dude.
No, you don't have any
It's not-
evidence.
Changes the tone of the game.
You know what? Dowdle makes a 30-point difference. They could have beaten the Ravens.
You control the game. You shorten it. It's a different game. At a minimum, we can admit it is hilarious that this late in the season, yes, the Panthers and Bengals are both terrible against the run. But with a patchwork offensive line, they're just breaking out 100-yard games.
Well, didn't he have a good game against Pittsburgh?
That was like the game where they first started to really go to him.
But then they stopped the next game.
They had a one-game drop-off there.
Yeah. Then they played Detroit, and they were like, whatever. What if we start with Zeke?
Yeah. That was also the week Zeke kind of complained. Because if you recall, in the Pittsburgh game, Zeke fumbled.
On the goal line.
Near the goal line. Or no, Rico did. There was something that happened.
He will fumble.
He will, as will Cooper Rush.
Mm-hmm.
If you recall sounds of the sideline last week when their quote-unquote offensive coordinator's like, well, you sure do love recovering fumbles, don't you? But basically since the San Francisco game that Dowdle oddly missed because he was
Remember that?
just
Conspiracy
sick
theory?
randomly because they needed to get Dalvin Cook a little run. He's been super solid. That's a guy I'd like to have back here.
Yeah, they're not really good at identifying the talent and deciding who they should use.
Or they
Unless
are,
they
and
sign
they're
him to a
told
big
no.
contract, and then they will definitely work them in. Or if they were drafted in the first round, okay, well, that means you're the best player and we'll play you.
A lot of teams do that, but in this case, the running back situation we know is completely Jones related. Not like Mike McCarthy and Will McClay were like, what's Zeke up to? I bet he could really help this thing out.
Right.
No chance.
They weren't probably also weren't high on drafting a tiny guy.
Yeah, that
Rico's not even drafted. Undrafted free agent, 3 straight 100-yard games in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was
Would love to have him back.
it was everything.
Would also
yesterday.
love to add another free agent that's probably in the same kind of sphere market as Rico Dowdle. It'd be great to have 2 Rico Dowdles, which is not hard to do.
No.
I think in this NFL, unless you are drafting a relative of one of your scouts and bringing back Zeke because it'll be good marketing.
No, there's no reason they shouldn't have a mid-round or free agent running back to pair with Dowdle going into next year. No reason. And that's probably, I assume, what they'll do, but we don't even know who the coach is going to be or the style of offense, so everything's kind of up in the air there.
So let's do the Micah thing. Because,
Yeah.
yes, that's like a big headline, and I saw he was asked about it after the game.
Yeah, we'll hear that.
It's like, what the hell?
So the video report that I saw from Ian Rappaport, and it was out on Twitter, it says, Rappaport, Cowboys haven't closed the door on a potential trade of linebacker Micah Parsons. On game day morning, the Chiron, Dan, says, Cowboys haven't ruled out trading linebacker Micah Parsons as contract talks loom. So I listen to the piece, and I read the corresponding text piece on NFL.com. And I will read to you what Steven said. This was at the league meetings. If you recall, I played some audio from Steven at the league meetings last week just saying, boy, the cap is tight.
Mhm.
Money's tight. It's going to be a 2-year tightness.
They meet during the season?
Yeah. They'll meet in December.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of league meetings you don't even know about them, dude.
Well, I know about the big one in March, April.
Where they take the photo.
Yeah.
No, they meet all the time.
Okay.
Just ask Jerry because he's like, hey, look at me. Look how virile I am. I went to New York and back in a day. But this was not in the audio where he was talking to several reporters. This is just a rap sheet special. So regarding Micah, here it is. Asked if the thinking will be altered when it's Parsons' turn to negotiate a potential deal given the stress big contracts can put on an organization, Stephen Jones said, yeah, that'll all be things we consider. Obviously, we're totally all in on Dak and CD. But after that, then you still shape things, including Micah. But Micah's a great player. You don't do well in this league letting guys like Micah usually leave the house. We love Micah. I can't imagine there's a scenario where he's not wearing a star on his helmet. That's the quote. The headline, Stephen Jones, Cowboys haven't closed the door on a potential trade of Micah Parsons as contract looms.
It doesn't sound anything like that at all.
He essentially just said, Dak and CD, we won't be trading them because we just signed them to these huge contracts. That's the only thing that makes them different than anyone else.
But I feel like the opposite of that headline is maybe not the legitimate opposite.
Like, why would he say, in addition to Dak and CD, we would also never trade Micah?
Yeah.
Why would he say that? He's under contract for one more year. What are you?
And he might trade Dak or CD
to the extent that he could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can trade these big contracts these days, but
that was a
that seems very clickbaity.
Bull-esque job by Rap Sheet.
Well,
right there.
Incredibly clickbaity for a guy that doesn't need clickbait.
Yeah.
Like, we need it.
So that's honestly the only reason Michael is here today. We're like, just get the image out there.
Yeah. We're
so
trying to get our lady viewership.
Micah was asked about it. Am I up, Blake?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how quick he.
It's, yeah.
You guys playing for contracts. You're in a similar situation right now. There was a report this morning that the organization hasn't ruled out potentially trading you in the offseason.
All right, so let's just be clear here. What we now have is we have a reporter. Why am I blanking on his name?
Mike Leslie.
Mike Leslie.
Oh, I was guessing.
No, Mike Leslie of Trayvon fame. Now, he's doing his job, but he's like, hey, there was a report. Now, Mike Leslie probably saw the report and was like, this is utter nonsense.
Right, but got to run to Micah.
Yeah.
Hasn't ruled out potentially trading you in the offseason. When you hear conversations like that, does that motivate?
Okay, even in saying it like that, it makes it seem like Steven said, you know what? We could trade Micah this offseason.
Yeah.
That's the way it's phrased. And now if you're telling Micah, I don't know, it probably inside it hurt his little heart because he, talks all the time about how he loves the Cowboys and wants to stay here, and I don't care. My agent probably doesn't want me to say this, but I can't.
Jerry's my guy.
I want to stay here.
And I'm his guy.
People can't be too greedy, taking too much, because then you can't have other guys around you. Like, he said all the things that you would want a player to say if you were a Cowboys fan, and now you're telling him, hey, your boss said they just might trade you this offseason, when your boss didn't actually say that at all.
No, and it should be noted.
This is why people hate the media.
This is not a normal thing that you should be given praise for, but he could have held out before this year. Zeke did.
Mm-hmm.
CD, he didn't have to hold out.
No, but he was a year late, but he was
on time.
Yeah, because he's a second round.
1 year ago, yeah.
Not
1 year to go.
Yeah, 1 year
Zeke
to go.
held out with 2 years to go.
Micah's like, those guys need to get paid.
Yeah.
He really hasn't said that much about his own pay. He's just constantly talking about getting paid.
Right. We know that's
so
why he's talking about other people.
You got to go say to him, like, I don't know if you heard about what Steven said.
Motivate you to go out and do what you did today and show, hey, keep me around?
Nah, I understand how that business side goes. Listen, no hard feelings in this.
Also, that's stupid. Did that motivate you?
Yeah.
So you heard that report, and so you went out and got 8 pressures and 2 or whatever his numbers. So you had a really good game.
Oh, my God. He's been the best defensive pass rusher. Or I was going to say defensive player, but he's been the best pass rusher in the league since he came back, because that's what he can be.
Wait, was that because they were going to trade him?
Yeah, I think it's all, yeah.
Like, just this morning, you got motivated to play good football.
I wasn't going to show up.
All your whole career, you've been awesome. But just this morning against a crappy Panthers team,
right at noon.
Now you are now motivated to get out there. And
it's more like bro, I wasn't going to show up. On
Bro.
God, right?
Oh, God, bro.
Motivate you to go out and do what you did today and show, hey, keep me around.
Nah, I understand how that.
Keep me
That's also
around.
to keep me around.
Please, sir.
We had, and you know, we were a
Please
little,
keep me around.
we were a little undecided here. Well, he's not Nick Vigil.
Please.
Yeah, we need a little more tape before we figure out whether this guy's on the bubble or not.
Motivate you to go out and do what you did today and show, hey, keep me around.
Nah, I understand how that business side goes. Listen, no hard feelings in this business. You know, whether I'm here or anywhere else, you know, obviously I stayed how I wanted to be here. But, you know, at the end of the day, I understand the business side. And, you know, I put in a lot of work. I play hard too. So obviously if sides can't, you know, agree to those type of things, that happens like that. But, you know, I'm just happy to be here. And I'm going to just keep playing hard while I'm here. And if I'm here for next 5-6 years, I'm going to keep playing hard then too. So it ain't really nothing going to make a difference. Mike's going to play hard.
Love that he first personed at the end there.
The little Micah going to play hard. I've never heard him do that.
Me neither.
He's going to switch into that.
Is that first or third person?
Third person.
Third
Micah
person. I
thinks.
was like, what? Yeah. Micah going to play hard. Yeah, he was everywhere yesterday. He was awesome. But all the news about your football team ain't been good news, as Steve Harvey once said, because the other thing we got pregame, freaking waylaid after Trayvon was listed early as a questionable in the week. He talked to the media. Then we find out Friday, he's not going to play. And then we find out Sunday morning he's having surgery and he's out 8 months. And at least according to Clarence from DLLS, All City Dallas, that the Cowboys are very frustrated with how he's handled this knee situation.
What does that mean?
That he rehabbed it or does his rehab work away from the team? Who knows?
Which means not at all.
Yeah. Now, is that rain?
I know. It doesn't look like it outside, but
I think it's pouring, but it's sunny. Want to go see if there's a rainbow? That'd be
That's
exciting.
not a bad
Michael,
idea.
can
We'll
you
live
go
stream
get
it.
some video?
Yeah. What if it's a double?
Now, it should be noted that, let me see here. I got to pull this up. That this ridiculous narrative that the media is out there pushing, Micah had to weigh in and tweet that this is just ridiculous. That it's just, trying to slander Trayvon. I'm trying to pull up the exact tweet here because.
Oh, he's worried about that narrative. I thought you were saying the narrative that the Cowboys are open to trading Micah. Okay.
No,
That doesn't upset him. People mad at Trayvon upsets him.
Yeah. So Kavanaugh tweeted a quote from Clarence. I can tell you that the Cowboys were not happy with the way Trayvon Diggs, attacked his rehab. It says Trayvon's new injury is serious and 2025 is in danger. That was right before the game. Well, right after the game, this is his second tweet after my brothers, I play for them, 1-0 photo. The next one is bullshit. I'll drop facts one day, just not today. But this bullshit and a bad narrative that they've tried to put on my brother's name. Don't know.
So is this the same knee from last year?
I think not.
I think it, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think so.
So what are they mad about the rehab about? Because they said after the game that this injury occurred in the game against the Bengals.
Yeah, so I think here's from Steven on the Fan per Machota. He was having to play with fluid in his knee. He was out there doing everything he can because he wants to play, he wants to compete, he wants to contribute. But unfortunately, he suffered a new injury that has to do with cartilage. It's a very legitimate injury. It's going to take some time to recover. I don't think he'll be a player during training camp. I think his timeline is going to be about the start of the season, which means he will not play the first half of next season. And he'll likely be joined by the real Agent Zero, Overshown, which you could easily make the case as two of their four best defensive players.
Man, I don't know if he plays next year.
He might not play again.
Again?
Pretty
It's
serious.
a second pretty serious knee injury. And he's not young. He played 5 years in Austin with the COVID. So.
Oh, Overshown. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Trayvon.
No, he's pretty young actually, but for Overshown, it's his second one.
Yeah,
It's a dangerous position.
He did a lot of damage. That's not just an ACL.
It's all the CLs.
It's all of it.
Alphabet.
They actually had to
surgery.
sew the leg back on.
Cowboy doctor with a
You just
bottle of bourbon.
Yesterday you had CD.
your bite on this.
CD, another big game, goes over 1,000 yards again. 9 receptions, 13 targets. Brandon Cooks got some targets. Jake Ferguson, of course. Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert, both with touchdown.
Almost the same touchdown, wasn't it?
Really nice. Cooper Rush was very good. He also had a fumble in the red zone again.
That's really just about it.
I guess they've had 9 red zone turnovers this year. Brevin Spanford.
Get the new Mach-E at Brevin Spanford.
I was going to say, yeah, it's
Got a catch. Cavante Turpin didn't get a catch, but he did get 1 target. Even Zeke.
Turpin got a carry, though.
Yeah,
It was like a 16, 17-yard carry out of the offset pistol. I like that.
I'm focusing, though, more on throws their way because Zeke got a catch, a reception as well. My point here is the Jonathan Mingo revenge game.
Oh no!
Yeah, they
forgot
did
about him.
go pretty deep in the bag before getting to
He did not get a target.
Mingo. Yeah.
Boy, did
Was
he
he
even
on the
play?
field?
Let me check my snap count.
I never remember seeing him on the field. Like how many? Why don't they just?
He played 13 offensive snaps.
Why don't they just donate their 4th-round pick to the Salvation Army and then they can sell it to the highest bidder
Yeah.
and make a lot of money that way? And they just never use it anyway. It doesn't matter. Like,
I mean, they did get a franchise quarterback from it, and then I think they were kind of like, boy, that's like 10 years of
even going into the game, I was wondering, why is Cooper Rush playing? Like, you have very little time left to see if he can do anything. I don't think he can.
What do you mean can do anything?
Not Cooper.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
No, yeah. Well, I think the reason you do it is this. I think they're probably going to bring Cooper Rush back. He's done enough.
No, but
Stay with me. So it doesn't, I mean, I guess on one hand, this could all be for naught if McCarthy's gone, but they want to bring him back next year as their backup, and your backup's only going to be better the more he's played in real game action. So if they have an idea of re-signing him, which otherwise they wouldn't be playing him, they're at least going to try to re-sign him, and then next year when Dak misses 4 or 5 games, he'll say, look, we feel pretty good about this guy. He's got a lot of reps. Let's keep running him back out there rather than taking a few games away from him to see what Trey Lance can do, which we all are pretty sure is nothing. That's the biggest selling point I could give you on playing Rush is those guys have to play, and this is valuable.
okay. Well, the point is then they just don't know what they have with Trey Lance, or maybe they have seen such garbage in practice that
I think McCarthy had him foisted on him.
Yeah.
Completely.
And of course, McCarthy is playing for his own contract here. How do you feel about that right now? Like, so they beat up on, they beat the Panthers. They beat the Giants. I guess beating Washington, Pat, is the one you could be pretty impressed with.
Pittsburgh. If you want to wind it back further. But yeah. No, it's not that impressive. They're doing who
have they beat this year overall? Pittsburgh and Washington are the 2 impressive games. Pittsburgh was very fluky, and you could have easily lost that game. And the narrative would be way different.
Yeah, but it would also be very different had Awarrior not,
Done
Leon leaded that
Bengals
ball.
thing, yeah.
Brandon Aubrey kicks a game winner. Now they're 7-7, and you're probably looking at it going like, "Hey, the Panthers played the Eagles pretty hard. They played the Chiefs pretty hard." 7-7.
I was trying to figure that out too.
Bucks are flailing.
I went heavy on Pittsburgh yesterday in one of my betting things. What the hell?
But as it all relates to McCarthy,
How good is Philly?
They
They might be good.
Yeah, I know it's a problem. They don't even need Barkley. He was out for like half the game, and when I flipped it on, and Gainwell was just okay, easy. I have no feel for the McCarthy thing anymore because I could see Jerry thinking this is a pretty sweet deal. As long as we're healthy, we're probably going to win a lot of games.
Same as, keep us in the mix, in the bubble mix.
It's like Garrett a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's better
way
than Garrett.
better. Way better.
right, but always in the mix.
Yeah.
But not a decided advantage coaching wise. They're of the same ilk, but they're also both very safe. You could bring McCarthy back for 3 or 4 more years and just say, look, things break right. We'll probably end up 10, 11, 12 wins. Keeps people interested.
Does he get a job if he didn't come back to the Cowboys?
No.
Boy, I think so.
Like, we were kind of looking at possibly Chicago, although Chicago has their sight set on Ben Johnson, right? At least that's the early word.
Somebody's going to hire Joe Brady, and I would love for it to be here.
Where's he?
Buffalo.
Okay.
He was the Saints. He was LSU's offensive coordinator for 1 year in the insane year. 2 years, actually, I believe, but really took off Burrow's second year. And before that, he was a guy in the back of the room in like quality control when my brother worked for the Saints. And they were like, hey, this guy, he had some ideas. Next thing you know, he was LSU's OC. Then he was the Panthers OC. And then he's the Bills OC. He's going to get a job. But it just seems like the league is going that way. I mean, I don't know. The Belichick thing has me, if I were Mike McCarthy, I'd be a little bit worried.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously doesn't demand the control or, even the inferred control. Even if Belichick came in and said, I don't demand control, Belichick looms large. Mark McCarthy does not loom large, except for physical stature.
Yeah.
But like guaranteed job openings this year are Chicago, Jacksonville. I guess Jacksonville's not guaranteed, but it is to me, right? Giants, Jets, New Orleans.
He does have New Orleans history, I think.
New England could possibly, but I would think if they gave up on what's his name after 1 year, it might be because they're going after Vrabel.
Yeah.
Bring Vrabel home.
I don't know. I mean, McCarthy's fine. But
right, but I'm wondering what he does seem to fit a good team that wants to take that next step, like the Cowboys, more than he would fit any of these other like rebuilding projects or.
Yeah, but I could see the Giants and Jets haven't had a good coach in forever. Maybe they just want like a solid guy that's not a flyer.
I would advise those teams to find someone else to call plays.
And maybe that's the issue with McCarthy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really know what else there is to say about yesterday.
We had we got it. We got the record trying kit or record attempting. Like it all worked out to the yardage and the place and everything on the field. And
whenever it was happening, I just thought of you. Just sitting there watching.
Oh, I was writing in my notes on right before the first half. There was a penalty. It was like a bad call.
It was
roughing on somebody was roughing CD, right?
It was a targeting on the third of CD. It was just terrible call.
Yeah.
Perfect hit.
Yeah,
shoulder to shoulder. Even Pereira afterwards was like, yeah, this might be under review next year. But that took them out of NFL record field goal range. They were exactly on the 50. So I was excited about that.
If you've got to go to Pereira a play later, what's the point of going to Pereira? Because they had already run another play when they went back to his.
Right, and it had already been determined.
Yeah, and then it was done with.
We'll talk to Brandon Aubrey tomorrow. If you would like to tune into that. That's subscriber-only content. Brandon Aubrey's great, but I did see him talking after the game. Was like he said he didn't even attempt like 65-yarder or 60. I don't even think he tried a 60 before the game
because of the wind.
Yeah, and he was saying he thought his FAR was going to be 62 to 63 that day.
He would know.
He would like to get the opportunity in the climate-controlled dome of Jerry World or whatever, but. Yeah, I wondered if he just tried too hard because obviously when you swing too hard a golf club, that's exactly what the ball does.
Totally, yeah.
It hooks like that. But I'm looking over at Blake because he's a big hitter as well.
Yeah, it'll just match whatever your miss is, and it kind of hooked a little on him, and it didn't. What I don't know, kicking. I don't know. It just looked weird.
It looked to me like here's my my expert analysis. It just looks like he tried to kick it really hard, and everything got sideways.
So
when he did.
Wait, was that was like mid-quarter or something? It wasn't the very end of the half or anything.
No, it was.
It was the end of the half.
Yeah. They honestly they executed it perfectly.
Okay,
because they had the slide, the spike, and it was.
Okay, it was the end of
perfect.
the half. I'm sorry. They
Yeah.
finally because they gave up the touchdown and then because I was thinking if that was mid-quarter, then the very dumb play would be to return it and run it back.
Yeah, you just take it from the miss. You're getting it in 10 yards into plus territory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg was great because he nailed it. I guess I just had never known this, but you always, when you're returning kicks like that, you try to run it at your sideline. Why is that? Because he nailed it. He
Say
said
that again.
They're gonna try to. He said they're gonna try to catch this field goal if it's short, and he's gonna return it this way because you want to return it along your sideline, and that's exactly what they did. But I'd never known that was a special teams thing.
Yeah,
Maybe-
now that you say that, I
maybe-
guess I do.
Maybe we can ask Brandon about it. But Greg said it like, yeah, this is just common knowledge that you return it along your sideline. But I had never heard that before, or just didn't know.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to go to a pro.
Well, stay tuned tomorrow.
You did note that there was a Zeke catch. That was he had two
Yeah, he
plays
went
in a
off.
row. Yeah, handoff and then a little bobbled play. He actually looked a little quick right there.
Interesting too that we've stopped with the big Trey Lance couple games in a row. It's like, oh, we got this thing for Trey Lance, and then brought him in to play, and then he's gone.
Well, that was
None of it makes any sense.
Well, that was the Cowboys media being offensive coordinator.
Because they were talking Trey Lance all that week.
Yeah.
There is a way to actually make that work, and I'm sure there are a lot of Texas fans that are like, why are we even doing this? But they use Arch effectively. He doesn't run every time.
Red zone.
They figured out a way to make it work. And I don't see why Dallas could not be doing that. Especially if you put him in the backfield with Turpin and Dowdle.
It's fun.
The guys run basically option plays before, at least under Shanahan. They could figure that out. And they just choose not to.
Yeah, because he is one of their best athletes.
By far, yeah.
You mentioned third leg, Greg. I want to play some audio. And audio today will be brought to us by Tito's Handmade Vodka, an integral part of our football watch parties. Tito's is America's favorite vodka for a reason. It's a spirit that knows how to focus on what's important. That's why it comes in a standard bottle with a modest paper label, so all you pay for is the high-quality vodka inside. Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right, naturally gluten-free, and mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. We are fired up to be associated with a brand like Tito's because not only are they known for great vodka, but they're known for giving back by teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. It is the vodka for dog people, after all. Find your new favorite cocktail with Tito's by visiting Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, distilled from corn, copyright 2025, crafted to be savored responsibly. So I don't know if we have any other post-game stuff you want to get to, or if you just want to do like TV audio.
I listened to Micah. I listened to a little bit of McCarthy. Tomorrow's our big day because we'll have the Micah pod and we'll have the Jerry on the fan. Also, there's one piece of audio that I told you I had that I have not cut down, so don't throw it to me for that one. But I'll have it after the break. I do have another one, though, that I think is interesting from Greg.
Okay. Let's see here then. I could play you a few things.
How's Pam Oliver doing?
I thought her first report wasn't terrible. Like, it didn't seem like the words were spilling out of the corners of her mouth.
Must be 2 first reports.
Oh.
Yeah, I was speaking to, I'm losing my voice, but
That's not the
speaking to
first.
Dave Canales at the half, I asked him about his messaging to the team. His main thing, turnovers. He said, we have to start getting those back. And that was before the last one that we just saw. Defensively, he feels like they can do a better job against the rushing attack of the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, he said, we've got to own our leverages and make some plays.
It's a gamer right there, Pam Oliver. She's a stud. Fighting through it. Kidding me?
Dude, it's just
We're going overboard on the saying how great Pam Oliver. Like,
Well,
we all know you used to be on the number 1 team and you got demoted and you're upset about that. We all know that you're really not even good at what you do anymore, which we were wondering if even what you do is essential to anything, and we don't think it is.
I think sideline reporting is good.
But now we're going to go overboard too, just to make sure we compliment. It's like, grandpa at the table, or, yeah, no, that's great. You're like, we can't believe you're alive. You're 95, whatever you do, it's fine. No. I understand that's how they talked when grandpa was growing up.
It does feel that way.
Well, they were saying that because she was fighting through losing her voice.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, you're right. She did battle through losing her voice. The alternative was that she just went home because she lost her voice. What is there to commend? She's fighting through losing her voice. That's a normal thing to fight through.
Well, her pregame report was 37 seconds. Excuse me. That one was 31 seconds.
Dude, what a gamer.
Her last one
Damn,
was
damn it,
17
Dallas.
Fighting
seconds.
through a cough.
Yeah.
What a stud.
Stud.
So 31 plus 37, a minute 8 plus 17
125.
is okay. So that's how many seconds she was on
She was on for 90 seconds. That's it.
speaking. And, stud. Gamer.
Boy.
How did she do that? Bring it. Her report on the offensive line I thought was funny.
Well, Joe, as you saw, T.J. Bass limped off the field during that previous Dallas offensive series. Well,
I think her tongue is swelled up.
Bass has a thigh injury. Things are certainly getting interesting along that Cowboys offensive line, huh, Joe?
They're digging deep.
Huh, Joe.
Yeah, I don't
Very interesting, Pam. Thank you.
Very upbeat
Go
music
back.
behind her, and she just
Back to your thing, whatever you're doing.
has a gun to her head during the report.
I don't know if it's it feels like she was like stung or bitten by some sort of exotic venomous bug, and it's just taken over her central nervous system, and her tongue is swollen up, and she's disoriented.
Hitting her cheek. I can't feel it.
Yeah.
I
She got a
can't-
root canal.
And
at
Joe's
half.
like, wow, interesting. Yeah. Beast. Honestly, though, this is kind of, I'll be that guy. It's kind of sad. Like, I get sad watching Corso, but at least they rotate him in and out. You know, they lighten his load. She's doing just as much as every other sideline reporter, I think.
Yeah.
What,
I
who's
thought,
injured?
I thought this was odd. So they did have an injury on the field, and I don't know the answer to how to handle this. But apparently, Fox had a guy. So I guess he worked with Fox cameraman who died.
Hmm.
And they decided they were like, okay, we got this. The cameraman is beloved. Where do we work this into this game? I think at this point it's like 30-14. So or maybe it's 27 to whatever it was. It was a blowout. It's time. We're killing time portion. And they're like, where can we work this in? Where can we work this in? They ended up having kind of a stoppage. You'll hear. It just feels like really weird.
Nice job there finding the ball. Cooper Rush just put a little bit more on it. Get it out there over the top and let CeeDee Lamb come back and try to compete for that at its highest point.
TJ Bass, the right guard, who's in the lineup because of injury, down himself.
Okay. Kind of a wide shot now.
Lower the crowd.
Well, Rockman Shell, who was one of the original cameramen on Fox's World Series coverage back into the 90s and 35 years as a cameraman on Dodger broadcasts, passed away this week at the age of 59. And chances are you didn't know Rob, but if you're a baseball fan, you definitely knew his work, responsible for some of the great shots, the greatest moments in recent years. And those of us that did know him, going to miss him greatly.
Wasn't you,
Shell.
JD?
Loved baseball. Was really passionate about.
Trying to figure out what to say about him.
Great baseball became great TV. He was one of Vin Scully's most trusted guys in Los Angeles, and then welcomed me in when I came in after Vin with open arms.
Oh, look at me. Look who replaced Vin. You guys forget that I'm number one baseball guy? You think I'm a spare, but I do baseball.
This offensive line continues
no.
Guys here.
Well, how do you transition?
Break! No piano music for offensive line.
Yeah, but then you get a Chipotle ad or something.
Yeah. Pick 3 at Buffalo Wild Wings.
He also doesn't know it's Cooper Beebe.
Yeah.
He did that
say Connor Beebe?
Twice. Yeah, that was just really... That piano is so generic and non-copywritten.
And there's no real transition to get to it either. It's
what's he gonna do? Be like,
so is he like, okay, Josh Ball,
the right guard, who's in the line.
TJ Bass is down. Sorry.
You know who else?
Producer in the ear. Hey, why don't we do the dead guy thing?
And someone else who's questionable to return.
Wow.
Our fellow Fox employee.
Well, Rob Menschel.
TJ Bass is down, but Rob is 6 feet under.
Yeah.
If you knew him.
Yeah.
He's also doing the funeral director thing where you don't know the dead guy, but the family gave you like 1 or 2 facts about him.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's what Brandon Aubrey gets on Cameo. He gets you can write 1 or 2 facts. Loved baseball.
Yeah, but
Vin Scully knew him.
Well, yeah.
And know Vin Scully, you may recall.
But he had a funeral for one of my family members, and the guy didn't know him. And we were like, oh, yeah, he was really into trains and all this other kind of stuff. But the only thing the guy heard was trains. And so he just reset it every time. Oh, this guy loved trains. Really loved trains. Everything went back to trains because that's all he remembered.
For me, it'll be Superman.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and so, your funeral I love
I'm going to lay a cape
Big
over your casket. Without a doubt.
But, yeah, the only thing this guy knew about him was that baseball. Love baseball.
God, that's so funny.
Love baseball.
Not to that comedic extent, but that kind of happened at my dad's funeral, and it was weird because the guy had never met him.
Yeah,
and we were all kind of like giving the one eye open during prayer, looking at each other like that doesn't seem
that
like
wasn't
him at all.
Would that be called your grandpa?
Yeah, but I was just since it's Chappie, I wanted to be clear. I would say that so that you wouldn't
not
say
your spare
Chappie's dad.
Okay,
I got like 8 of them, so I feel like
that was your favorite grandpa, right?
Yeah. That's fine. The rest of them are dead. What are they?
They might haunt you.
Hit the music.
Don't believe. You know who else will not be joining us?
Jake's.
All my other grandpas.
Any grandpa. So I didn't notice this really, but Blake sent me this in the morning and said, hey, if you're cutting audio, which I wasn't. I had cut audio yesterday, but I thought, you know what? I'll go back in there for Blake.
Gamer.
You know what? Yeah. Stud. Look at McDowell.
Stud.
Cutting audio. Somehow turned on the YouTube TV and rewound it. Unbelievable. Anyway, so this is Joe Davis. This is my Joe Davis is beaten montage, thanks to you.
I picked up on a lot of this as well.
You're just saying like he's above.
I warned you guys. He does this every game. He'll tell you how crappy this game is.
Not my fault. You have to call Atlanta Cleveland.
No.
Don't be on the E team.
Yeah, you're doing a game for Fox. How about just be happy to be
Check
there?
Clears, pal.
3rd and 7 for the Panthers. Long touchdown today. That long throw to Coker. 2 to snap it. Just get it off. No, they don't. Holy cow, Greg. This has not been good.
Full start.
Out of the gun still. 1st and goal from the 1. Not sure what that was. Going to be third down. This one's not been that compelling. Different story, though, in New Orleans, Carissa.
I wish I was there.
A little FOMO.
Line up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
That's the 14th Dallas penalty. 18 penalties, 4 turnovers.
And there's been a couple penalties declined.
How much fun we had. So much. Always good to be with you. That's where it all began for us. Young has all day. And that is incomplete. Yeah. Does Rossetti have the blooper reel music?
I don't know what.
Oh, a little attempt at comedy.
Okay, a couple things. He's not wrong that the final 10 minutes of game time was the worst football I've ever seen in my life. Like, really needed that fast forward button.
Mm-hmm.
Just insane ineptitude, penalties, delay of games, fumbles.
Not
and
close. You're like, why am I tuned into
Everybody
this?
wants
Just
to
in case
leave.
somebody says something.
Yeah, you know the Cowboys are going to win. Just get it over with.
Yeah, but at the same time, Joe Davis responds to the idea of having to broadcast like it's my wife calling him from the other side of the house. We're just like, oh, God.
All right.
What now? What now?
Pick it up. Yep.
Yep.
What?
Yep. This is
Okay.
awesome. I'll be right there. I love doing this. That's how he broadcasts. Now, this is really risky, Dan, because I'm going to try to play audio without previewing it. This is good for a live stream, too, because this could be an absolute disaster. But he said something in that clip that made me think of another thing that happened in the game. He was like, hey, we're right back here where we started, which is funny because he's like, hey, Greg, you thought you were better? No, crab mentality. They cucked you with Tom Brady. Come on back down to the D squad. Like, that's a weird thing to say. Hey, look, back like where we were when we started. I really never left. You may know that. You moved up.
What's he referring to?
I think he's saying when Greg Olsen first started, he was probably had to. Did he not do some games with Joe Davis?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, like when he was very first
Okay.
before they paired him with Brohard and on the A team. Joe Davis is like, huh. Look
well,
who's
and the
back.
A team was Buck and Troy,
right?
When Greg Olsen started, right?
Yeah. So
so he's probably the C team.
yeah, they've probably worked together a lot.
Yeah.
And Joe's like, funny to see you here. Like he's a college kid coming back in town. Like, oh, I thought you were a big city boy. But he said something that made me think of that one time a local sportscaster said the dream before the dream. And there was an injury in this game. Let's see it.
Yeah, so it's worth noting that stoppage in play earlier there, Joe. They stopped play, came from upstairs, the red hat. Josie Jewell they made him come off, brought him into the 10. Obviously, they thought he made a hit, the contact, something on the field alerted them upstairs to get further checked out.
As opposed to a timeout for either team, so still all 3 left.
All right, it failed. I knew it was going to fail. But I had to take a shot. Let's see if this is in it.
2 for the Cowboys out of the 2nd and 20 play. Dallas trying to overcome another penalty.
Yep. I decided to roll the dice, Dan. This was when that injury that just occurred there happened, and they're like, onto the field, recently elevated from the practice squad, John Radigan. And I'm so dumb that briefly I was like, holy shit. They checked
Rads?
Johnny Rads is out there.
They really are tanking.
And I looked it up. There's an NFL player named John Radigan.
Oh.
Now, it would have been better if I had audio of them announcing that.
Yeah.
But
so you're telling us
playing
about the
fast
audio
and
that
loose.
you hoped you had.
Yeah, I thought I
Like,
had it
why would
cut
you have
there.
cut off that audio that you do have?
It's the long version of it.
Oh, okay.
You know how we do. Set the head and tails later. I do have one thing that I know it is what it is. This is, you know how we love Gaten and Martin?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Panthers have a player who has a similar name.
Yeah, so it's worth noting that stoppage in play.
What the hell, dude? Get on your game.
Here, Dallas has been really aggressive on 3rd downs. They only rushed 4. That is a reception for Jalen Coker. Undrafted rookie in his first game back from the quad injury. Gets 15 yards and a nice throw from Young.
Yeah, so again, take a look here. They're going to have to deal. Taylor Moton
Moten.
Taylor
my.
Moten is Taylor Moten.
See, yeah, and I thought after this
Moten.
game, because he said Guyton a couple times, but I didn't really catch him dropping the teeth. So I thought, oh, somebody got to him. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, take a look here. They're going to have to deal Taylor Moten.
Moten. I like this one. This will be my last one. This is after the so going into halftime, of course, the long touchdown pass and everything. And then I guess coming out of halftime, was it the Cowboys ball and then they lost it?
No, it was the first play of the drive. The Panthers had the ball. And
Panthers lost it.
Osa crushed.
Okay, I think this is right after
Bryce
that
Young.
then.
Bryce Young has no chance there, but he has to keep two hands on the ball, firm pressure on the ball in the pocket. I can't stress enough. I've never played quarterback, but when you lose that fast on the interior, it just gets in his face so fast. There's very little time to react. And now the third turnover of Bryce Young, 2 fumbles and the pick, and all that positive momentum. It's funny how momentum works. You want to build it, and then it's ever fleeting.
Almost like it doesn't actually exist. Like it's a word that you were just trying to fill time between saying something else.
Yes, it is. It is always interesting how the largest proponents of momentum tend to make the counter argument for you when describing it.
Well, because something like that will happen.
Sure. I mean, there was a lot there, right? The Cowboys fumbled, and the Panthers scored right away. All the momentum is theirs. Then they fumbled it. Oh,
that's clear momentum. Then the Cowboys missed that the kick.
How do you recover from that?
Because if they would have had a NFL record kick, that would have boosted their momentum, and they would carry that in the second half. So somehow, despite all the momentum that the Panthers had, still you can fumble and
first play
and then give the ball back and then lose all that momentum. Then the Cowboys had it for the rest of the game because the Panthers didn't have the momentum.
Jeez.
Momentum.
All right, you want to take a break? Actually, I forgot that we're live streaming today, so we'll take a break.
This should be interesting.
I've got it.
Okay,
you've got it.
Sure do.
Well,
The Dumb Zone. Actually sucks worse than the WNBA.
And at the top of the second half, it's 16-9. Easton leads the scoring with 4.
And that's why she commands $7,000 a year. These gals sure do make it look difficult.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide.
Yay!
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Hey, I got some Factor meals in the mail over the weekend.
Oh, I got some being delivered today.
Oh, really? Maybe on his Friday. Anyway, I love the Factor meals. And I don't think this is really part of their copy, like that it's a weight loss thing, possibly. But my wife has a buddy at work, and she said she lost like 40 pounds because she was doing Factor meals. I guess, just coming in the nice portion. If you just start eating right in that way, portion out your food, and it's all healthy food. It's good for you. It tastes great.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan. Got me eating veggies. Well, I'm fired up about the box I got coming today. Can I introduce you in a little Jamaican jerk salmon and shrimp? How about some fajita spice shrimp and filet mignon?
You may.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's if you're a parent also, really it's great for anyone, Dan. Your kids probably don't eat what you eat, and now you're like, all right, we got to make dinner. We got to go to the grocery store. Factor meal. It's not even like one of these meal prep services. You just microwave it. It's 2 minutes. That easy. No cleanup, no grocery store, no what are we having for dinner. You can mix it up. 60 convenient options for you every week. Check them out at factormeals.com/50dumbzone. You'll get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. 50dumbzone. Factormeals.com/50dumbzone. Good stuff with Factor.
That's not their thing.
No puppet.
They didn't say don't try it out,
that's
though.
their thing. Their thing is no puppet.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to put this on earlier. I don't know if you'll see it on camera.
What do you got?
That's just the finisher's medal.
Oh, isn't that cute? You got a little participation medal.
That is cool. Yeah. Did you win? You must have won.
Yeah. Did you place?
You know what, though? And I am very aware now that after when I ran in 2022, I did so poorly. And I knew when I came into work that Corby and Bob already knew about it because you can look up your results online because they were like, how'd it go yesterday, champ?
Oh,
I'm like, that doesn't sound good. But they will post. And the guy who won the full this year, the best time, first time running a marathon. Like he ran in college, he ran distance in college, but he'd never actually participated in a marathon, and he won.
Was he from Kenya?
He was not. He was from like Arizona or something. He's a med student. Anyways.
So what does that mean?
That seems pretty impressive. I'm impressed by it.
I mean,
I'm
I thought
sorry
that was
didn't,
kind of an
start
interesting
yelling.
note, but whatever.
No, I feel
don't
like
know.
it's interesting. It was great.
What's
and I'm
going
sorry
on
that
with Nintendo this week?
So Dan and I play real sports. We're not really into just exercising.
Yeah.
You know, baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Or basketball.
Yes. The big two.
Anyways, I was watching the Cowboys-Panthers game the other day, and there was a moment where the Panthers had been decimated by injury at linebacker.
Oh, we're getting to it.
And they
he got it.
He found it during the break.
I'd love to play it for you, but my audio is muted.
You know what's gonna be great is when you play it and there's
And now Sherless walks off. Now this from State Farm.
Now, I only left this in here.
Derrick Henry.
Hey. I only left the little inserted ad in there with Jake from State Farm to again remind people how egregious it is that one of the most famous characters in our advertising world, Jake from State Farm, dumpy white guy. What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Khakis. You're everyman, the guy you expect when you call an insurance company. Jake from State Farm, everybody, was just replaced by a super fit black guy, and they didn't change his name.
What would you want the name changed to?
Could be Dave. Bill.
Okay.
Frank. Jamal. But the point is they just left it. Like no one will.
Kind of
no,
like
no.
the kid on Roseanne or the husband on Bewitched.
But they didn't replace them with like a guy who or a woman who looks totally
That's
different.
true. They tried to make it look similar and
Yeah.
then gave him the same name.
And boy, they must. You know what it was? There was
Roseanne, your kid's black now.
there was probably a scarcity of overweight, middle-aged white guys.
Right.
That
Where
look
would they
like they
find
work
them?
in insurance. And here's the end of that ad.
They went,
Like
whoa.
a good neighbor,
Yeah.
State Farm is there.
John Radigan's going to come in at linebacker. This group just ravaged by injuries at this
I
point.
did note that,
now-
and I just
The fact it was right after a commercial, so I'm barely paying attention. Like, who? But
Reds.
They are ravaged by injury.
And yeah, if they got to dip below him, then Steve Busby.
Yeah. Who? I don't even remember who came back after. Is that when Dave came in?
Who's our guy with the big hair? Rick Renner.
Rico Renee.
One more I didn't play. You saw it in the Dropbox and said, hey, I thought that was kind of good. This is when they were going nuts about the punter of the Panthers.
Turpin was saying I was that close. Wouldn't matter, though, with the penalty.
Because the punter kind of got in on the tackle a little bit.
Dipped the shoulder a
Push
little bit.
Jalen Brooks back into him.
Yeah.
Close. Wouldn't matter, though, with the penalty. And, hey, we say, the punter. Well, Johnny Hecker's 6'5", 250.
He's a big dude, and he probably is one of the best passers in the entire league. I mean, that guy can throw. We've seen him. He's like the guy for fake punts.
Okay, now I know he's got quite a few
He's a bones guy.
fake punts, but
Pretty low bar, wouldn't you say?
okay, if you say he's the best passing punter in the entire league,
Sure.
I'll go with that.
And he probably is one of the best passers in the entire league. I mean, that guy
He went
can
in the
throw.
entire
We've seen him.
league.
He's like the guy for fake punts.
15 out of 26 in his career as a passer.
Like he's better than Tim. Is it Tim Boyle?
That would kill for that. Kill for that completion percentage right now.
Yeah, Jake Haener getting a chance in New Orleans today. He's like, all right, I'll take Johnny Hecker's career line today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Kind of the third down back who also averages 6 yards a carry. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he goes in a lot on 3rd and 18, and they do the draw play.
Also, I've been blessed to go to enough Cowboys camps that like half the team can throw a 50-yard spiral. Like Dez was had the best arm on the team.
Yeah, he was great.
Cole Beasley had
who's their other
rocket.
former receiver threw one this week?
Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, did you
for
see
the
that?
Saints.
I did not.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jake Haener.
Yeah, he threw a touchdown. And then the Saints, this game isn't much, but Carissa, how about that Saints game? Did you see the way that ended? Pretty sweet. They actually scored a game-tying touchdown. Excuse me. They're down 7 against Washington, Pat.
I knew Washington won.
Scored a touchdown, did the back shoulder, the thing in the short pylon, corner of the end zone. Tried going for 2 with the exact same play, and they were like, yeah, we know your only play here is...
That's tough.
And didn't get it. So they tried to win the game going for 2, which you should do if you're New Orleans. Although, gosh, it's the same year that we were sitting here going, my God, this New Orleans is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, finally, like he's put it all together. Who's their offensive coordinator? Next Cowboy head coach, perhaps?
Yeah, I definitely said that.
They were putting up 50 a game after 2 games. The first game was against the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, it's just the Panthers. But once they did it to the high and mighty Cowboys, my God, this is a... And then I think they lost 8 games in a row, fired their head coach, and now they're... Yeah, now Jake is alleging that perhaps Mike McCarthy is... That'd be the one team that would actually hire Mike McCarthy.
I could see it.
And it was, I think it was...
Gamer.
What a stud.
I'm trying to take my headset off so you're not hearing the cough.
I was just checking in on updates, but it was Rattler down the stretch for them, not Haener. I don't know if anything happened to him or he just sucked.
I mean, he went 4
He
of
might
10,
have got
so
yanked, yeah.
Technically, Olsen's correct that he would have taken a 15 of 26 line. Yeah.
I think Jameis got yanked.
Oh, no.
I think a bunch of quarterbacks got yanked this weekend. So I don't know what you want to do about that.
Yeah, not much.
I want to play you a piece of audio. Again, I know we don't want to go too long and all that kind of stuff, but this isn't going to be relevant when I get back. I'm going to Clemson for my daughter's graduation.
Will this be your last time going there?
Well, she's staying because she's still working with the football program as an intern. So she's staying for another semester. So I might go in the summer to help her move out of there. Or whatever.
The orange-white game action.
Yeah, you know. Oh, she was all excited, too, because she's getting an ACC championship ring.
Nice.
That's cool.
Like, as a member of the band, you would never get stuff like that. But she's now, like, in the football program.
Maybe she'll get to see Quinn there next year.
That's right. He
Be
might
surprised.
So is the reason he might stay in college football because his stock dropped so much from the beginning of this year to the end?
Yeah, and he might be able to make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah, and they're ready for Arch in Austin, so he's either going to the draft or he's going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like there's no they couldn't believe it, like Arch is being so cool up to this point.
There's no way.
There's no way
Well,
we tell Arch I need
Arch
another
is
year.
probably better than him.
Yeah, he's been banged up for sure.
Quinn?
Yes, I'd like to see him get another full healthy year.
But he could probably make more than if he was a 3rd round draft pick.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, so this is the owner of the Washington Mystics in the WNBA. Did you guys read the Caitlin Clark interview? It was very long.
I've read the quotes.
Okay.
And I've read people being mad about it one way or the other.
It shocks me when I open it up. It's Time Magazine. She's Athlete of the Year. And you open it up, and it says...
that was actually once Hitler.
I think he was Man of the Year.
Ah.
Time Athlete of the Year. And it says 35-minute read when you open it up. You're like, Jesus, how long? And it is really long. It took me like 7 sits to read it. Anyway, good article. I do think it's incredible. The Caitlin Clark story. I remember when we all kind of were learning about her. Some college, probably junior at the time. Like, I didn't catch wind of her till she was like a junior, and it was like maybe it was Bob or somebody saying, "Hey, you need to see this college basketball chick."
I personally know that Bob was really into it because it was hilarious to me, because he would always, for some reason, joke with me about like, boy, you're probably really into pumping up the WNBA and women's basketball, right? You're woke guy, you're liberal. I'm like, I actually could. I mean, I hate it.
Okay, so he thought that for real?
No, it's just doing the thing where he was like, "Oh yeah, you're this guy,
well, yeah,
that guy," and I'm like, "No, I don't know who this woman is at all." And he's like, "Oh, okay, you're pretending you don't know." And then like every 3 days, he'd come in and be like, "Did you see what you did?" I'm like, "No, still no," but he was ahead of the curve on it.
Well, and so that made me slightly ahead of the curve for the regular population. Just because she was launching logo threes and drilling them. And it's like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
And she had swag, too. Just best talker.
Yeah. And so, I was amazed by the guy, one of the ball kids was doing that when he was in high school. And it's, it draws you to it. So anyway, she's been very exciting. Then obviously the rest of the world picked up on it as she's a senior. As a junior, I think the end of the junior year is where they were in the national championship against LSU, lost. That's where the Angel Reese,
the rivalry,
whole thing started, pointing at her ring finger, turned her into the villain, turned Caitlin Clark into the good guy. So happened that Caitlin Clark, also white, villain black. That ended up becoming part of the whole narrative. I think part of the whole narrative throughout this year, too, then has been, she's white, and we're giving her a lot of pub because she's white, which I think is ridiculous. Only because, we see white basketball players but Steph Curry changed the game because he's playing, and Caitlin Clark probably was, a huge fan of Steph Curry, and that's how her game developed, by emulating Steph Curry, I would guess.
Oh, no doubt.
Because
Trae Young, Caitlin Clark.
But Steph Curry became more popular than anyone, and he's black, and it didn't matter. There's plenty of white players we could get excited about, but we're excited about that style of play. We've never seen anything like that. We don't see people launching logo threes and making them consistently. That is what's exciting. And I would say if Brittany Griner was the one doing that, we would all be really into Brittany Griner right now.
I'll give you another example. Most exciting and captivating baseball star we have going right now, famously Caucasian Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because he's his race, or it's just like, man, never seen that before?
But if he was white,
you'd be like,
there'd
man,
be a ton
never
of people
seen that
saying,
before.
because he's white.
Yeah, right.
And so I think that's ridiculous. And you're probably saying it too, because the most popular player becomes, is white in a league where white is the minority.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it must be then just because they're white. No, man, she's awesome. It is exhilarating to watch a game with her. Like, I've tuned into the Indiana games this year occasionally. And when you do, like, she's doing her passing, her dribbling, like her ball, like she is Steph Curry. It's amazing to watch. And yeah, she has swag and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, and like, who's the MVP? Is it Asia Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was the MVP for the third time this year. She's probably a better player, but she's probably, Tim Duncan was also like a great player, and no one ever bought Tim Duncan shoes or anything, like a poster. Nobody cared. And it wasn't because his color, it's because the style of play wasn't great. Hold on, I'm a gamer.
Boy,
Man.
he could have called in sick today.
I could have.
Stud.
Anyway, so here's the co-owner of the Washington Mystics. She is a black lady. She was on CNN or CNN Britain or whatever the hell. The person interviewing her is a Brit. So don't be turned off by that.
I'll try. Now you're going to tell me it's a woman.
Yeah.
It has taken the WNBA almost 28 years to get to the point where we are now. And this year, something clicked with the WNBA. And it's because of the draft of the players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized. And I don't think we can just pin it on one player.
There has been.
I'm going to tell you what. You can absolutely pin it on one player.
Mm-hmm.
If she wasn't involved in this at all, and it was just your Cameron Brink and Angel Reese and the usual suspect, because Brittany Griner was a big story when she came out.
Mm-hmm.
Not as a person who dates ladies, but when she came out into the draft, it was a big story, but it died down pretty quickly. And we're all aware that Brittany Griner's out there, but no one's going to, I got to see every Brittany Griner game. Now, I will tell you this. If Brittany Griner is throwing down 5 tomahawk dunks a game, we'd be all going, if there's somebody doing an anomaly type of a thing, you're going to be really into it. And like I said, if Brittany Griner is shooting logo threes and wagging her finger or whatever, you're going to be really fired up about Brittany Griner. Has nothing to do with the color of her skin, in my opinion. And it's not even an opinion. It's just an objective fact.
Oh, you're willing to go there, huh?
But it is really weird, this race war, that it does seem even black. I don't know if you say black players, and I don't know what to judge based on Twitter, because, that can give a really loud voice to a very small amount of people, and that's not fair. But this is the owner of one of the teams saying this, trying hard to let everybody know, hey, yes, the WNBA, it's unbelievable. We're on a map. We're like, people know who we are. We're a bit mainstream. We've done better financially than we ever have. I just want you to know, it's not just because of Caitlin Clark. What's wrong with saying it's because of Caitlin Clark? She goes on.
There has been, this phrase has been couched, hasn't it? The Caitlin Clark effect. Why do you think that has been the case?
Well, I want to be very diplomatic about this. It's just the structure of the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest.
Media.
I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never got the recognition that they should have. And I think right now, it is time for that to happen. So last night, we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said,
all right, let's stop it right here.
It's ridiculous.
We're going to keep going, but imagine that. As Michael Jordan once again wins Sportsman of the Year for Sports Illustrated. They did that back then. Maybe Time Magazine's probably been doing Athlete of the Year. I don't know.
I think once it was Stalin.
Well, why couldn't it be all dictators?
Yeah.
The whole Eastern Bloc.
I know.
Them all together.
Right.
Well, why do we have to focus just on one guy? Hitler killed a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah, they put the entire NBA on there with Michael Jordan. That's ridiculous, obviously.
Understand how to market what you got here. And it's not like you're starting new. You're starting after lots of other sports leagues have already gone through this and that, and we've seen how to, and the NBA really hit on something when they decided to market their superstars. And it really, really, really worked. Look at that versus the NHL, which doesn't really market superstars well enough.
Or what MLB is trying to do.
Right. Maybe there's a lot of different reasons. But anyway, let's just hear the rest of what this idiot had to say.
Where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said, the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have. Because when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings. And so now you're starting to hear stories of racism within the WNBA. And I don't want to hear that. We have got to operate and become stronger as a league and respect everybody that's playing.
We got to stop with this MVP.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Why don't you stop keeping score?
Yeah.
Why have a score? Like, because other players, that makes people feel bad at the end of the game.
They don't want to feel like a
many of the
loser.
points. Yeah.
Everybody on the court played just as hard as everyone else.
What about every shot
Is a made bucket?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Did you see like community notes piling on this lady too? Like,
love community notes.
Saying it's not just the WNBA or it's not just Caitlin Clark. Like the Washington Mystics, I think entire attendance this year.
Oh, it was within
like 33% of it was games against Caitlin Clark.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like they're getting 1,000 people going to games. Unless Caitlin Clark is there, they're getting 15,000. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I am aware and sensitive to the fact that do any content analysis of the local news or whatever, and you'll pretty quickly become aware that minorities are portrayed in a more exaggerated negative light than majority groups in the media. They just are. That's something that is true, but you can still acknowledge that while saying this is not the case here for all the reasons you laid out. And I don't know. I mean, Charles Barkley sometimes says stuff that I disagree with, but do you remember when he went off on this a few months ago?
No,
because I guess there were starting to be, some murmurs of some players that were like, oh, we're tired of all the attention she gets. And his whole bit was like, you're flying commercial without her.
Yeah.
And there were a couple people who came out and were like, actually, that was already in the works. We've been lobbying for private plane travel for forever. But yeah, there was also, I recall, a couple TikTok videos of maybe her team on the private plane where they're all like dancing and eating the private plane, the charter plane food like we have on Stars trips. And they're all like, thank you, Caitlin. Like they joke about it. They're going to make more money because of her.
It's like people being mad at Tiger.
Right.
And, he was only popular because he was the minority group that's being represented. No, it's because he was totally awesome. And yeah, all the players upset that Tiger didn't pay his dues and Tiger didn't. They all were making double what they were making, 3 years prior to that.
Now, see, I didn't read the article, but I thought that it seems to me the focus is her feeling like she needs to atone for being white, which certain people have a very severe dog whistle for that, where once you say anything like, hey, life might have been a little easier for me because I'm white, some people simply will not entertain that idea.
Right.
And that apparently got a lot of people really, really fired up.
Right. She said, I realize I have
white
some white privilege.
White guilt? Like, oh, no, I think that it's pretty obvious that if you're part of a majority group,
there are little
on
things,
average, life
overall
will be a little bit smoother for you. And that is just some people, you say that and it's everything else shuts down.
Yeah, that was a big part of the today and Twitter discourse on this whole thing. But I thought that owner was an idiot.
Well,
also
with $20.24 billion in revenue last year, I'd like to nominate the NFL for League of the Year.
Yeah.
If I may.
They're probably better leagues of the year.
Now, why though? Hold on. Let's just break this down. That would make the other leagues feel bad for not being League of the Year. What if sports are the athlete of the year?
Well, but then we can't do that to the arts.
Oh, yeah, they may be upset. Oh, I got a phone call from science.
What if all
They would like a word.
to be a mix?
What if all humanity is the athlete of the year?
I got the aliens.
Like every
why are you
every award is
phobic?
Every molecule in the universe.
Don't forget about the dogs. Yeah.
Molecules of DEI higher.
Did you see John Fetterman had a sports bet?
I did, man. It's a big man. He's really been trending down with me and my fellow communists for some time now, and this didn't do him any favors.
What? He wears sweats to...
I know. He beat Dr. Oz, which was cool, but Dr. Oz backdoored his way into a much more important role now.
What's he doing?
Something doctorish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he
For
bet the
Trump.
Philly mayor, the mayor of Philadelphia, something over the Steelers Philadelphia game. One thing was that you had to proclaim that I don't know what Sheetz or Wawa are.
I know Wawa.
What is it?
It's just like their upscale. I don't know if it's upscale, but like a gas station that has good food.
Okay.
They have like really good sandwiches.
Okay, so apparently Sheetz then is one that's located in Philly, and you have to proclaim that Sheetz is better. But the big thing is she would have to wear a Steelers hat all day.
What?
But luckily she won't have to. I think Fetterman will have to wear an Eagles hat all day.
How's it going to rebound from that?
What are we doing?
I don't
Still
know.
doing all this?
Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes it'd be your faves, but
is Sports Mayor really upset that the Cowboys aren't good this year?
Oh my gosh!
You think he'd be betting every game?
Are we doing Oh, SMU's
SMU?
not in the play. Wait, SMU is in the playoffs.
Of course. Oh, dude, trust me, if he hasn't already.
Who do they got?
Is it Boise State or Penn State?
Penn State.
Penn.
In the first round, Boise State has a bye. They would play them next.
He's not betting against Penn State.
You think he's that smart?
He knows what he's doing, I think.
Any given Sunday.
They play Saturday, probably. That can't be that big of a spread, dude. Penn State is not that good.
I just got in a pool. I'm in Jared's pool. Did you get
Dude, we
invited
need
to
to
that?
talk.
I didn't want to
For
be in
bowl
it.
games?
I tried to avoid
Dude.
it. And then he kept hitting me and then he texted me. Because he emailed out the thing. And it said, look, I'm not going to go chasing after people. If you want in, you want in. And then he texted me, hey, are you in? I'm like, all right. Because he's Jared. He asked for something, I give it to him.
This is not his charity thing.
I know, but I just like supporting things that he wants to do.
Anyways.
So now you gotta bet on like the mayonnaise bowl, and you gotta pretend to know about.
I hope it's
Marshall?
just a playoff bowl or
Okay.
a playoff pool. It said CFP pool. I didn't look into it. I just said, okay, you said you're Jared, and you've asked me like 3 times, so yes. Should we go into the news?
Sure.
The news brought to us by Frankel & Frankel, personal injury attorneys, 214 or 817-333-3333. If you get into an accident, you want to call Frankel & Frankel. They will fight for your rights, fight for what you deserve, fight against those insurance companies. So please, just keep them in mind. Personal injury attorneys, they're local, they're the best. When you call, you will talk to a partner, not just some spare like Blake or something.
Jeez.
Sorry, what? I thought we're all friends here.
I get it.
So Frankel & Frankel, 214 or 817, all threes, 333-3333. Personal injury. I almost landed it.
Mm-hmm.
I almost stuck it.
Mm-hmm.
It was going so great.
Not a stud.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
I think you like my holiday music, Blake, on this.
I do.
I feel like you've never reacted positively to the news theme before, and now you're like, eh.
Well, it's a nice little jovial music jingle.
School
I like
shooting in Wisconsin.
Ooh.
See, yeah.
Why's Jake have to
Wisconsin,
ruin it?
I don't know. He had to go outside of Texas just to deliver this.
Well, I just tell you this because I highlighted for you last week the versatility of the group chat. And this one, I looked at my phone during the break, and it was a long list of text messages. It's interesting. I saw this gentleman in the break we played, but it was like, KJ, are you and the family cool? This happened in Madison, Wisconsin, which is where Kajan lives. Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. It was a student. 6 shot, 2 dead. I don't know if that includes the shooter as part of the 2, but the shooter is also questionable to return to the mortal coil.
Do you hope it involves the shooter?
Interesting.
Are you allowed to pray for someone to have been shot?
Well, I think it was self-inflicted.
Oh.
I'm saying I don't know if that he's dead.
You got to watch out playing with guns, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there were 2 plus him or if it was, yeah.
Well, so 3 total?
That's what I'm saying. Is I'm trying to figure. It doesn't say.
Like, is that even a school shooting?
Well, 6 people got shot at a school. So, by just about
Single
the
digits, huh?
broadest of definitions, yes.
Like, are school shooters going for like records and stuff?
But it's not Fortnite.
Well, I don't know. But, like, if you are a school shooter, are you like looking at the OGs that came before you, and you're like, okay,
yeah.
Like, because right now, a lot of the thing it used to be in the past, like, oh man, they want their moment in the sun. They don't even get that, right? Like, this stuff doesn't even get a mention anymore across the. Like, it won't make the national news tonight.
It will for one night, but that's it. Yeah, unless you have something extra wacky about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
he wore a Mavs man outfit.
That would probably do it. Yep.
Rowdy. Oh, that would be the only way they'd get rid of Rowdy.
Oh my gosh.
If he like shot up a crowd or something, they would never. You couldn't bring back another Rowdy, right?
Yeah, I think you found the breaking point.
You would never have another Rowdy.
And I'll tell you what.
And Overshown would be number 0.
Yep.
Like,
or is he even kind of like, it's cool actually now?
Or would you just like change Rowdy into badass Rowdy? Put a teardrop on him, get rid of his smile.
He can't be.
Yeah, he's in prison.
Life
Rowdy.
No.
Prison Rowdy, head shaved.
I think
a mean look on his face.
I think pedo Rowdy might get it retired.
If he was busted?
Yeah.
No, but he
Like
has,
if the van
to
had
be
a-
busted in the
I
costume.
know. In the van though, like
So Chris Hansen.
What are you doing here? Just smile.
Yeah, he's got that big grin on his face. He's like, Rowdy, I've got the chat logs.
And they like show him at the computer and it's all blurred, but you can clearly tell it's Rowdy.
And Jerry's like, well, I tell you, and he was one of the best Rowdies we had too. He was just a little funny.
Rowdy?
It's a little funny business there. Yeah, I think we found like the only 2 ways
to get rid of Rowdy.
So if anybody wants to, to frame Rowdy, there you go. That actually wouldn't be a bad mayor bet though. Like if you had to, not to be a pedophile or a murderer, but if you had to bet to dress up as the other team's mascot and perform in game.
Sir Purr.
Which one is Sir Purr again?
I think that's the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that.
Okay, so the mayor of Philadelphia has to dress up as Rowdy.
Yeah, or
and run around all game.
Or Eric Johnson has to put on the big bird thing and run around up there. That'd be cool.
Or just do their duties, like they have to be in on council meeting dressed as the big bird.
That's pretty
but
good.
with his head.
This sounds like a jolly time. 3 escaped juveniles from a juvie in Granbury were later captured in Hutchins. It's about 80 miles away. They made it all through yesterday and into this morning.
On foot?
They on foot, but they then stole a couple cars.
I'd like to see their steps.
Jeez, yeah.
Like marathon, you're telling me that's going to give me 35,000.
Well, I think it's about 20,000. 10 miles was like 20,000 maybe. Yeah.
So wait, that means 1 mile is 2,000?
Something like that, I think.
Okay.
They escaped 15, 16, and 16-year-old, stole a vehicle and several firearms, and then committed an armed robbery, which was botched at a gas station in Dublin, Texas, home of the Dr. Pepper.
Dublin Dr. Pepper.
It wasn't really botched, right? You were just saying that for me.
Well, I mean, I don't. Sure,
Like,
Dan.
Did they commit the robbery?
Well, they yeah, I mean, they did, but they got caught.
Oh, okay. It was a botched robbery. I thought
Yeah.
you were doing a.
What?
Hood County Breaking News chimes in.
Oh, yeah, Granbury.
Alice said, whoever helped them escape and with jackets, guns, car also need to be prosecuted just the same. At these ages, all need to go to boot camp for 2 to 5 years, learn a
Bingo.
trade, discipline, respect for the law, and how to become a responsible person, save their lives and others. 7 American flag emojis.
You got to go 7. Yeah. Boot camp.
Learn a
For
trade.
5 years, like, isn't boot camp what you do, like, just to get you ready for the military? So, like, but 5 years of it?
Well, if you notice, she had some vocational training mixed into this program there. So I think there's welding.
Learn a trade. Like what? Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to go, dude.
Oh, yeah.
There was a coyote spotted by Acton Middle School. Be on the lookout.
This is, news people need to know. I thought this part of the story jumped out at me as well in the what's next portion of this Fox 4 News story. All three will be charged with first-degree felony escape.
That's a good one.
Because it doesn't even really say from prison or from a detention center. It's just like, man, we got to charge this guy with escape.
What are you in for?
He got out. Let's see here. Did we talk last week about how they stopped showing Luigi's face? We did, right? I was thinking about that when we were talking school shooters, and
because he's too hot.
Yeah. The New York Times, an internal memo was circulated to one of the Substacks that I follow. Had he's the one who first got his manifesto. He had this memo. It was like, look, I think we can all agree this is not good to be showing him because everyone's so wet.
Yeah, I think you did mention that last week.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
But I don't know that it makes a lot of sense.
In the age of social media, I'm not sure that it does either.
Like, oh, I didn't see him in the Times. Okay. Don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I saw this weekend is some DJ at a nightclub, which appeared to be geared towards people between like 17 and 22. He was playing a Miley Cyrus song and with just images of Luigi up on screen, like pulsating to the beat. People were super stoked on it.
Yeah.
This will be a fun. Let's see if Dan is interested in this story. This actually happened in Grapevine. Eleni Simonson, 29 years old of Grapevine, was arrested on Friday. She's a former Louisville ISD teacher. She's been arrested, charged with sexual assault of a child and having a improper relationship with a student. Yeah. Do you get the name?
Yeah, I got the name.
Well,
I just like to have him weigh in on these things. It does say that the crimes occurred in 22 and 23. Did you think that she just wakes up in fear every day since then? Like, since you broke it off and she's thinking, okay, we're good. I got away with it. What do you mean, damn?
What?
You said that out loud.
I'm on board.
Okay.
The luckiest boy in the world.
And our
different pictures, though. Yeah, I guess it's tough.
Our drone update or updates for the weekend. I'm pretty fully convinced now that they're searching for a nuclear bomb somewhere. Is that where you are, Copeland?
Dirty bombs.
Yeah, a lot of drone stuff this weekend.
Yeah.
Guys coming out that work with drones, their theories.
Drone guy, kind of new sword guy.
New age sword guy, yeah.
Yeah. So all these various politicians in that part of the country.
Except I'd like to be drone guy a little bit. Like, I like drones.
I would not have
They
been
seem
shocked.
cool.
You might not remember
Cool.
it, but I would not have been shocked if there were a time where you were like, I'm going to get a sword.
I don't feel like I was ever sword guy.
Okay.
Like, that's the difference between.
I mean,
like,
you had a bird.
I did have a bird. I was a little kid.
Smoking a lot of weed. Into history.
But I had a tiny helicopter many, many years ago. Like, I had one of the first drones, I would say.
Wow.
Remember when you were at the mall and you'd walk through there and they'd have that thing?
Those are sick.
Like, I remember buying that for myself for Christmas many, many years ago. Like, this is what I want. I want to play with a little flying thing. And they're cool. And now they're like real badass and you can film shit. And
some of them have features where you can just click of a button, wipe out entire villages of innocent people.
I didn't see that one for sale.
It might be a modification.
Okay.
Aftermarket sort of thing. But this is a really weird story because the government is basically like, I don't really know. Like the White House spokesperson, federal U.S. Homeland Security Secretary tells George Stephanopoulos, who Trump, I believe, called Sloppydopoulos. There's no question that people are seeing drones, but I want to assure the American public that we are on it. We are working in close coordination with state and local authorities. And it's like, you're on it. This is the most powerful military in the history of the world. How is there any delay in between on it and figured out? Unless
you're involved.
Right.
Did you see the Trump?
And now people are shooting at them, which is awesome. That's exactly how I expected that to go.
That's what you would do.
Trump even said, were you about to say something about Trump?
It's different than what you're about to say.
Okay, yeah. So drones were spotted over his golf course up there, Bedminster, where a lot of people think that his ex-wife is buried, along with a lot of documents.
Well, I think one of them, they actually did bury her and publicly said that they did.
Yeah.
Because it got him a tax break.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip. When asked if he had received an intelligence briefing on the drones, Trump said, I don't want to comment on that. This isn't the president-elect's first comments on the drone mystery. Quote, this is from Truth Social on Friday, let the public know and now. Otherwise, shoot him down. And I'm with him.
Did you see his, maybe it was from that Truth Social, but I think I saw it on Twitter, his drone tweet.
Dude, the one with Chris Christie? Yeah. Certified banger.
He's just dropping McDonald's.
Yeah, he's just all sad, fat, sitting there
He's all
eating.
fat and eating.
God, it's just absolutely no regard for polite civil society.
No.
But seriously though, folks, what are we doing with these things?
So,
like, do you guys
they're looking
imagine
for nuclear, like, terrorists who have brought in nukes or something?
or
what
another
are we doing?
country or whatever? That they could be buried somewhere. They could be deep into the water. I don't know, but why would we not know what's happening right away? How can this go on for weeks? And we're like, that's weird. What's the answer? We're gonna figure it out. Because I think a lot about alien invasions or alien contact rather than invasions. This is probably the way I think it would happen. I don't think it would be a leftovers cataclysmic type event where suddenly the four of us are sitting here talking and you're like, they're here. I think it would be something like this. It's a little more subtle.
Well, they are all of a sudden here, though. There was no, I've been seeing it for years, traveling towards us. Because that's a good
Yes, but there's
theory
not
as well.
like a mothership that is covering an entire city that on day one vaporizes like the Hollywood sign.
Which you would see that coming from a long way away. you would
Right.
think.
This is kind of just like, hey, we're in the neighborhood.
I think.
Whoa.
I think it'll be some kind of a spore or some kind of just a small, very, very small microbiotic type thing that's traveled across the universe in some way.
Thus making it eligible for Person of the Year.
That's right.
All right.
That's why they're on their way to protest this clear racism that is given it to, what's her name?
There's the news.
Oh.
If you accidentally left your car seat in the Walmart parking lot, I turned it in this morning.
Why? You just took the car seat out?
And they took a picture of it. It's right here next to the cart return. Also, this person put a picture of a dead cat and said, I found this on the side of the road. It must have been hit by a car. I'm so sorry for your loss.
And they put a picture of it.
Really dark,
Also,
man.
congratulations to Josh on your jiu-jitsu black belt. We got a picture of him here with his certificate.
Big step.
Today's viewer mail birthdays will be sponsored by
Feliz Navidad.
That's right, Fairlease. Fairlease.org. They'll handle the whole transaction from start to finish for you.
Drive now, pay later. Feliz Navidad.
Yep. It's right there.
Thank you.
It's right there. Fairlease.org.
They do trade-ins too.
They do. Get great value.
Dear Sexy Ben Franklin, I'm glad I jumped on the first innovative web-based email supplier 25 years ago, hotmail.com, knowing it would ensure this email would get to you in 2024. Happy birthday to amazing lady DF Kelly M., a.k.a. Kel doing things on X.
Oh, yeah. I know her. Happy birthday, Kel.
She's a day one, number 48.
Wow.
She holds it against my lowly number 223 subby count. She's also a longtime diehard IJB supporter. Biggest Dallas sports fan I know, especially the Stars. She had more fun going to a Stars game, getting a picture with Bob and Dan than going to her senior prom.
Oh.
I Venmo'd Blake to get a prime position in the birthday reads. Before you start to yada yada the emails, more Soroy and Alamo Drafthouse Dumb Zone events from AC.
AC said 10%.
Greetings to the great
Thank you,
Clambino. I'd like to wish my dear friend Dan Smith happy Kurt Schilling birthday.
38?
Like Kirk Herbstreit, he too lost a dog recently, but did not get a note of condolence from Joe Brandon. His leaders are Ken Paxton's getaway driver, scammers who target crypto bros, and the pole assassin's pet monkey, Gia. More dingo introductions of guests and more Jimmy Nelson hypotheticals about loving men to completion. Less Sarah Hepola from Trey M. Hey, Dan, Monday is my birthday. I'd love it if you could close the show with William Pace singing me happy birthday, as long as you don't have anything better planned. Actually, Joe Breslin, I do have something better planned. For today, at least, so I can give you this.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the Dumb Zone. Happy birthday to you.
Incredible.
That's for Joe Breslin.
Eagles fan, but still a good dude.
I feel like in the next 5 years, you're going to be an Eagles fan.
It would have happened already. If I wasn't fully in with Chip.
They're very impressive.
Yeah. They're just.
I mean, how do they do it? How do they manage to add free agents and draft good players? And finally, dearest Colonel Angus, say it like you're Colonel Sanders if you need help figuring it out. No. I'd like to wish my big gay pal, PC bro, fighting Tex Ag, class of 2013, Dave. Jake is his fertility brethren, and Blake his Halo 3 leader. Hashtag shoddy snipes.
What was the game mode? You had a shotgun and a sniper. It was chaos.
Tactical?
No.
Double barrel?
Trail off.
Celebrating his Walter Payton or Paul Pierce birthday. He's a great dude. He moved his family and life halfway across the country just so his daughter, who was born deaf, not gay and blind, could go to the best school possible. What a guy.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Now, Dan, here is where you can give your obligatory talk on how great whatever that gay-ass superhero show is. From Nurse Thomas. P.S. If you ever need an expert on cardiovascular ICU nursing.
Good bit. Very specific.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in history.
I may force a video on you guys at the end of this. Just go long today.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Because we'll probably be short the next few days. There's a Big Mac hole in our heart.
I'll give you a hole.
Yeah.
Today is Monday, December 16th.
You're offering a... Okay.
He's offering for me to have sex with him.
Oh.
It sounded like.
What a stud.
Well, it depends. Not all the holes would equal sex, right?
Well, it's not what the judge says.
Giving us your ear?
Perhaps.
Is the ear a hole? It feels not hole-ish. Like, it'd be one thing if you were wearing a football helmet and I was just kind of hammering away at your ear hole, but... Anyways, what happened?
On this day in 1773, it was the Boston Tea Party. American colonists boarded a British ship and dumped more than 300 chests of tea into the Boston harbor to protest tea taxes.
Pretty baller.
We could never do that again.
You might want to check out what happened roughly 4 years ago where we were like, what if we just stormed Congress?
Okay.
Yeah, dude. I mean, don't short sell us. We could dust the cleats off if we need to.
On this day in 1972, the Miami Dolphins became the first NFL team to go undefeated and untied in 14 regular season games.
You know what I didn't really pay much attention to? I'd seen it written in stories a few times, but had never gone back and read about it, is how much Don Shula really didn't like Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I've recently heard that.
Yeah, it just kept showing up in stories. So finally I'm like, let me read it. And it was all over Spygate. And he kind of implied that Belichick might have been shady on a couple of other points. Thus, the thinking that Belichick was going to come back for no other reason than to beat him. She's like, who's clocking Don Shula's opinion on stuff like that? I don't know.
Well, I think Belichick's desire was to come back for no other reason than to beat him. But
it's starting to look that way.
Although I guess it's showing that he has a desire just to coach. Unless he thinks I got to at least get in the booth or on the sideline to be offered another coaching job.
Weird stepping stone.
Very weird. This day in 1979, Barry Bremen.
Barry Bremen, well, go ahead.
He's a prankster.
Yeah, he's John 3:16, right?
Is that him too?
Or is he Rainbow Man?
Well, on this day, he wore a Cowboys cheerleader uniform and had attempted to join the team during a Cowboy v. Redskins game. And then he was forcibly removed by security, wearing a blonde wig, padded bra, and extra-large Dallas Cowboy cheerleader uniform.
Padded bra?
Well, I guess he had a big bra on, but then had to put something in it because he was a dude. I know your generation thinks dudes and women are the same. But back where I'm from.
But was a security guy going to oh, you're a cheerleader because you have boobs?
Yes.
Like that was the final piece of that puzzle?
Apparently they were able to sniff him out. Removed by security. Sued by the team for trespassing. Publicly, they called him a pervert. And they tried to have him banned from any future Cowboy game. And a famous divorce on this date. I read about this in my book, in her book, I should say. In 2005, Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey split up due to irreconcilable differences. And if she hadn't done that, then I never get to read about her and Tony Romo. So I'm glad it didn't work out. Today's birthdays include former Ranger Billy Ripken is 60.
He would play Madden as himself and play it on really easy. So he would just throw 15 touchdowns with himself in a game.
Romo. Now, Billy Ripken, brother of Cal. Do you know about his baseball card, Blake? Search Billy Ripken baseball card.
It's like a wiener or something, right? What's the deal?
No, it's a legendary baseball card. So the what do you call the bottom of a bat?
Knob?
Yeah, I guess the knob. The knob, the handle, like on the very bottom.
Okay. It says fuckface.
Yes, it's written on there, and for somehow it got past the Fleer police, and this became the baseball card. Was immediately recalled, but I guess that's probably a pretty valuable card.
It's going for $400 on eBay right now.
You can retire on that.
William the Refrigerator Perry is 62.
Actually weighed 198 pounds.
That's right. Clemson great. Paul D. Podesta, 52.
Pizzagate.
I don't know what that means.
It's a different guy.
Okay. Paul D. Podesta was Moneyball guy who is now like
the Browns.
In charge of the Brown. Yeah. Like he's the Moneyball guy who was like, oh yeah, Deshaun Watson, do it. Absolutely.
Yeah. But he just got extended along with, or got some level of extension with Stefanski, which I saw some people who write about the Browns saying was kind of a nod to like the owner being basically saying like, yeah, you didn't really.
The GM and the coach did get extended right
Andrew,
before the season.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
Andrew Berry.
John Podesta is the guy who was involved in Comet Ping Pong.
Did he shoot it up?
No, he was the chief of Hillary's
Keith?
staff or something. Stop knowing who
How do you know Chief Keef?
is.
Well, I know Hot Carl. Candace Crawford, 38. Not only a beauty pageant winner, Tony Romo's wife, but the real-life sister of
Chase.
The Deep.
The Deep. How'd you know that? Oh, because you are the Deep.
That's right.
Let's see. A couple of musicians. Benny Anderson from ABBA, 78. Billy Gibbons from
Blake.
ZZ Top?
Yes.
75. Scott Storch, 50.
Whoa. Hold everything. That was on my GBL list.
Did we get him?
No, he's very reclusive. He got very addicted to drugs. But basically...
Who is he?
So all the keys from like Dre 2001, a lot of the Eminem albums, he was a super musician for hip hop, and he was a little white kid in like the early 2000s. I mean, every single like legendary riff from that time, piano, was him. And he got really addicted to cocaine. There was a documentary about him, but like produced Still Dre. Boy, look at this list. Make It Rain. Fat Joe featuring Lil Wayne. You know what? Never
Do you
mind.
think he knew Ed Lover?
It's disrespectful.
Comedian J.B. Smoove, 59.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, moments. First guest I ever booked.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
For bad radio, anyways.
Boy, he was a lot.
Mm-hmm. I knew that was going poorly when Dan left the room the second the segment ended and didn't come back in until...
Sometimes you don't like to talk during the break.
Yeah, but that one was pretty abrupt.
I think my first guest was the guy that sang Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Slow start. You know, you can't always judge the horse out of the gate.
It was COVID.
He made up for it with the Capitol Rioter.
That was a big one. Got in a lot of trouble.
And I get a call.
But it was worth it.
That a Capitol Rioter is in the waiting.
He looked at me and said...
I thought we wanted a big guest that got the buzz going, got the internet going.
He looked at me and he said, go get your insurrectionist from the lobby.
It got buzz going.
Oh, man. That was...
Engagement.
That was a fun meeting.
Kristen Ritter, 43.
She's pretty great. What was that show? I never watched it, but I appreciated that it was on. It was on Netflix. Jessica Jones.
Well, she was Jane on Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
who
Oh.
Walter let die in her puke.
You love her.
Yeah, big fan.
Park Seo Joon is 36. Don't know if this is a man or a woman, but it's a person who is in the movie Parasite, which was a great movie.
It was a great movie.
Theo James is 40. I don't know which one he is, but it says Cameron from White Lotus season 2.
He's the.
Is he the hot guy?
Yeah. I mean, he's not my type, but he's the
Oh,
one
yeah.
who's cheating on his wife all the time, and she's
So-
cheating on him.
So my wife loves this guy. What's the show? The Gentleman.
Oh, I've heard about that.
I think that's a Netflix show. I'll bet your wife's seen it.
You know they announced White Lotus season 3.
Yeah, like February.
You know who's in it?
No.
Baby.
Who?
Carrie Coon,
Hmm.
Walton Goggins.
Wow.
Yeah, among others. Wait, are you just having trouble processing that, or what's going on over there?
My daughter wants like a cable, so I'm trying to tell her to come up and get it now. I'll pop her on.
Can I leave first?
They'll be in Thailand for this season, if you were wondering.
Anything Walt Goggins is good. Like, find something that he's in that he's not good in. Like, even I think Major League 3 or something he's good in.
Great dude.
Let's see here. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm telling her to come up.
We're about out of time.
Jyoti. Now type this in. JYOTI.
JYOTI.
AMGE is 30. She is the smallest
on
woman
earth?
in the world. Oh, you want the cable now? What do you want? Well, come on up. You want to throw on a headset? Say hello? Yeah, throw on a headset real quick. You want to give her Michael's headset?
I feel like India, which is where I assume this woman is from, possibly racist on my behalf. No, she's born in India. I feel like they're way more on board with celebrating that these people are funny looking, but making them famous for it. Like, this woman's on a red carpet. Look at her tiny little dress.
Well, we had the Elephant Man, right? Or was he England?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's the Elephant Man
Gilbert
from?
finds
Eden?
it funny.
Well, she's being held up here on the red carpet.
That's a tiny person. That's a full grown person.
18 inches.
Oh, I'm
Bo.
sorry. Let me go back, Michael. No, I can't find it.
Who else?
Do you think she?
Don't, dude. Don't, even if your daughter weren't up here. Just don't.
What, has consummated a marriage?
Yeah, I mean,
Just like I said, don't.
there's a lot wrong. Yeah. Like if you're the dude,
I've
there's a lot wrong with you, unless you're mini me or something.
Yeah, man. Sure.
It might be big to her.
She is married.
My daughter is here from college. She just got here yesterday. She drove across the country. This is Eden, one half of the duo. So she's not nearly as powerful on her own.
Yeah.
When they're together,
That's how it works usually.
they cannot be stopped.
I'm very stoppable. I'm very weak.
But
You're giving a lack of confidence.
I'm giving.
You're giving sick.
You wanted that. You're welcome.
He just wants to impress you.
Means a lot.
What were we supposed to ask her about? OC.
Hell, I don't remember. How long was this? A long time ago?
Very recently. I think I did ask you, or did I ask Ava?
Oh, NPC. You asked me.
Oh yeah.
What's an
Non-playable
NPC?
character?
Yeah,
That was
it's
a fun
just
trend.
that.
Yeah.
It's just a non-playable character. It's just being so boring. You kind of recycle dialogue. You kind of can predict what they're going to say. You know, they've got their path through life, their route. You're kind of an NPC. You get the same thing every day.
It's same shirts.
Well,
Yeah.
if any of us is an NPC, it's me.
Well, I don't
I feel
know
like you guys are
Dan
both
and,
giving
Dan and Jake are the
NPC.
main characters. I'm just your little NPC over here.
So have you ever referred to somebody as an NPC?
No.
But have you seen that done online or something? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, that's a derogatory thing. If I was to call you, and that's like putting you down.
Yeah. It's mostly girls who like break up with their boyfriends. They're like, oh, he was an NPC. I'm like, yeah, you were with him.
So like a haircut. He's a
Yeah,
haircut.
he's a haircut.
Okay.
But that's old. That's objectively, that one's old.
Okay, so if I start using that, the kids will know I'm hip.
Yeah, instead of calling people haircuts all the time like you usually do.
Yeah, Joe Davis. He's an NPC.
Complete haircut. Yeah.
The announcer yesterday.
Yeah.
Born on This Day Now Dead, Beethoven.
Honestly, bro, don't even ask because I'm gonna not
1590.
Give me one year that he was alive, Eden.
No.
Okay, no, hold on. Let's think about this.
Because do you know this stems from our thought of I'll say Born on This Day Now Dead, Picasso. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, he must have painted the Sistine Chapel. No.
He was like the
Picasso saw The Godfather in a theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of the 70 million who watched the finale of MASH. He's pop culture literate. But Beethoven played okay.
But if you said Rembrandt,
you're like, oh god.
Then you're like, oh, okay. Did he
he
played in the MSL or something? No, no. Yeah, he was alive in 1200.
Beethoven. I feel like we just learned that the piano was primarily the genesis of the piano was like the early 1700s. But did Beethoven play a piano?
Wasn't he like deaf and stuff?
What do you mean by that?
Was he deaf?
Very hard of hearing.
Or blind?
He got there. He was
rocking too hard.
He was deaf.
He didn't
at the end.
I'm gonna say
turned
Beethoven.
off that iPhone thing that'll tell you how loud your headphones have been all week.
F that thing. I think Beethoven 1600s.
Anyone else want to guess? 1770 to 1827.
Yeah.
So really, he only lived 57 years, and then he was pretty badass.
Must have been a big piano guy.
Bill Hicks, Born on
Dude,
This Day Now Dead.
I've tried so hard to get you guys into him.
Should I watch some Bill Hicks comedy this weekend?
It's really, really good. It was before its time.
And Tom Brookshire. He was Pat Summerall's broadcast partner when he was out saucing up every night.
Yeah. That's a sad story. Pat got himself a new liver, and it only made it like 5 years. I think in We the Alcoholics mind, you're like, well, when they give you a new liver, you just kind of get to like...
Yeah.
Drink again?
You just start at zero.
It's like wringing out a sponge.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Died on this day, still dead. We have Colonel Sanders, second mention today, and Wilhelm Grimm from Grimm's Fairy Tales. Is that anything?
With the scream?
That's something. No, that's not the Wilhelm scream. But Grimm's Fairy Tales was a thing that I know for sure my mom grew up on. And so I grew up on a little taste of it. But I would guess by the time I got to my daughters.
No, I've heard of like the Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like, they're pretty dark stuff.
It's German.
But I mean, you ever read some of the, like.
Well, because this is, okay, Hansel and Gretel, right?
Yeah.
That's extremely dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a cannibal angle, isn't there?
Yeah, all of that. All right.
Tom Thumb?
And that was
Who's in
today
there?
in history.
Pedophile.
Are you looking for one of these cables? Like a USB to your phone thing or what?
No, USB to USB.
USB to USB?
Yeah. I said extension.
This is riveting.
Okay. I don't know that I have one of those, but I bet Blake's looking in his bag right now for one.
I don't know.
Well, I would need it, you know.
Like to keep?
I would have it, and I don't want Blake's. I'll let him.
He might be able to lend us.
No.
And we'll just buy him a new one. You want to show us a video while Eden's here?
Yeah,
like-
why not? Let's try a couple of them.
like
But
Nate?
how's she going to see it, though?
I don't know.
All right, let's do the Travis Hunter one first. It doesn't really matter.
Look at the computer.
There's simply no way.
So Travis Hunter won the Heisman Saturday
don't have
night,
the technology.
and the talk of the night
Can you see
was
Blake's computer?
his
Yeah.
girlfriend. Have you seen this video?
No, but I've seen people talking about it.
So the first video that goes viral, because there was actually two of them, is he wins the Heisman, and he's there with Deion, his coach, obviously, Shadur's quarterback and Deion's son, and his girlfriend. And his girlfriend is already the source of some controversy because they post videos of each other online arguing. She seems to constantly be pissed off at him.
Mm-hmm.
You're aware of this, Blake?
Yeah, she was let on the field on one of the games, and when she was let down, she was mad at him for some reason.
She's just pissed off at him all the time, not really realizing the meal ticket that's available here. So in the video here, you'll see that Deion has to not only tell her to stand up, he just won the goddamn Heisman Trophy, but also she's the first one to sit down.
So it's kind of like
just not really getting
when they're doing the stand sit thing at church.
Exactly.
That's you. Yeah.
That's definitely me.
Still sitting. And Deion's like, hey, get up. Good moment. I
saw people complaining about Janty and him not winning the Heisman and comps for other years and running backs who have had this many yards, and he's got more and he's even better than those running backs. And I've seen complaints like Travis Hunter won the Blitnikoff Award, but he clearly wasn't the best receiver, with at least numbers wise.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the Blitnikoff, because I don't know how we can judge a receiver that doesn't play the same school. I don't know. That's a tough one. But the Heisman, if you're just like even the third best cornerback and the third best receiver, but it's all in the same year, I think you should be the Heisman winner.
I have no issue with him winning.
Yeah.
It's more just his girlfriend seems to really hate him. But because the internet's the internet, didn't take long to find her now defunct 2020 OnlyFans account.
Oh,
okay.
She's attempted to wipe the internet clean of that. I don't know
what was she doing?
I didn't
just feet pick, because you don't have to. You're not necessarily having sex with people like that girl that had sex with 101 people.
No, I think that the actual intercourse is an outlier. It's primarily.
Were you aware of that story, Eden? The girl that had sex with 101 guys in a day?
Now, what news sources am I browsing?
Well,
that's
Twitter.
It was big news.
Just feels like it was everywhere.
No, I don't get pushed those. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess it's just us, the weirdos.
Yeah. It's whatever you're interested in, I guess.
Do you want to play the other two?
Well, at least one of them. I want to play the TikTok one, because what we have here is a new 4-star recruit who is committed to Texas A&M. His name is Brody. Is it Hoggins? What did I put in there, Blake?
I just see Tamu, new quarterback.
Brody Haggins. And he has a TikTok.
I could have guessed his name was Brody.
He's from Stephenville, and this is the next A&M quarterback, and he's so A&M, it's perfect. This is something he filmed and put up himself.
I can't breathe, then I catch my breath. I keep chasing that same old devil down the same old daddy highway. Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh.
That's the future of college football right there.
I can't breathe, then I catch my breath. I keep chasing that same old devil down the same old daddy highway. Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
You don't care about sports at all, right?
No.
I cannot wait for some like 6'3", 240-pound kid from, Mobile to just break this idiot's entire body.
You think they're not going to be putting that up on the Jumbotron?
That's what I'm saying. You're the SEC. Dude, why? What do you think about Luigi?
Oh.
Free my guy Luigi?
I don't know. I mean, he did it. But that's
Sometimes
not to say I'm against doing it.
Crack a few eggs to make an omelet, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they're scared. That's good. Got to keep them scared. Treat them mean, keep them keen, they say.
I'm not trying to get her kicked out of school.
That will not get me kicked out of my school.
You do go to
that'll get you promoted.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well.
Promoted?
Can you get promoted in school?
school?
Yeah.
Yeah, they give me my master's.
Yeah,
for
they
that
make
one.
you a senior.
All right, well, that's all I got. You guys have fun.
Please keep your eye out for this old little sheepdog on the side of the road. He should be somewhere between the light at 377 and Temple Hall. My 2-year-old threw him out the window.
What a turn!
I myself am very partial to this little guy, as he was mine since I was 2, and just sick that we can't find him.
Okay, I got
While
a lot. Hold on.
It's a stuffed
It's a little
dog.
stuffed animal.
Oh, okay.
But if you've seen a little sheepdog by the HEB,
I thought we had a Herculean 2-year-old.
Yeah,
who
like,
was just
Jesus.
chucking
Message
animals.
Jessica.
And also, how old was this dog if she's had she was 2? Anyways.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
Uh.